Is that muted now? Welcome back to another episode of Stay on Target. I'm your host tonight, Dustin. Thanks for joining us. It's another Wednesday. It's another great Stay on Target. We're going to have a fun time with you guys tonight. It's been crazy here in Studio A and on Hoff. Man, the winds have been blowing, and they've been trying to knock everything down tonight for us to get this going. But you know what? We're working now. We got Dirt Vaser. Dirt Vaser's with us. What's up, Dirt Vaser? You got me, Dustin, of course. I'll be here. I'm always talking your ear off about something Star Wars related. But let's hit the rundown real fast. Here's what we got for tonight. So we got question of the week, food on Target, HOLONET news with some stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on tonight. There's Dave Filoni possibly writing the Mando and Grogu movie. We got Rey Movie Canceled. Is it canceled? Is it not canceled? Does anybody know? I don't know. All rumors. And then we also got the What If series. So that's interesting. Plus, we got Rise of the Fans tonight. All right, we got another example of Rise of the Fans tonight. We're excited to talk about that. It's called the Brightstar fan film. And then we got Mad Libs on Mustafar, fun game. We all need some fun here tonight. I think everybody needs some fun. And then we'll cap it all off with a Q&A time, which leads me to my next point. Actually, my next guest, our guest tonight. Another host, really. We have the Fact Checker. What's up, Fact Checker?
Hey. I'm doing good. How's it going?
Good. Glad to have you.
Yeah. Am I supposed to submit the questions?
Yeah. All your questions are going to be
Okay, I've got a lot for you.
No, but apparently we definitely still enjoy houseplants, and we appreciate them. As we wanted to keep that up there, especially for Dirt Vaser. We want to make sure that Dirt Vaser is still represented.
Well, and feels welcome too.
Feels welcome.
Part
Always.
of the crew now, part of the ship.
Part of the crew, part of the ship. Yeah, unfortunately, Matt and Nick aren't able to make it tonight, but they will be back as soon as they can. Like I said, it's been crazy out here on Hoth. Lots of winds blowing, the tauntauns and the wampas be roaming. But yeah, did you want to talk about the new, we got a new question and answer.
Oh, that's what you were asking.
Yeah. I was going to lead you into that. Sorry, I was kind of not you come up with the questions. The new segment that you got, or you're working on.
Yeah, it's already posted. If I think some people have already seen it. In the top of the chat, just jump in there, send us a question, and we'll either answer it throughout the stream or during a Q&A section segment. So
gotcha.
Mostly, trying to keep us on target. You know how we can struggle with that.
We always are trying to stay on target as much as possible, but sometimes we miss your questions.
Yeah, and we don't want to.
And we don't want to miss your questions. So that's why we're putting up this question and answer time. Definitely got the idea from Bismo, so thank you, Bismo, for that idea. I want to give credit where credit's due. And but we're excited to get everybody's questions and make sure we're answering everything. So we don't want to miss anything.
They asked already, what can they be about? But like we're saying, maybe Star Wars, stay on target, things that will keep us on target best as possible. But, we like to throw in some random ones here and there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mostly we're just happy to be here with everyone. And it's going to be a good night.
It's going to be a good night. It's definitely going to be a good night.
Welcome to the madness.
Welcome to
get that in there yet.
My goodness.
Very true right now.
Today has been a mad day for all of us here at Stay on Target. Hopefully this is where things start to turn around, and I think they will, because you know what? We have all of you in the chat, and with us in the chat, we have the wonderful, ever so talented moderators on Target. We have Hannah and Night Sky. So be kind to them, otherwise they will throw you out with prejudice. So be kind in the chat and be wise in what you say. But who's with us tonight in the chat, fact checker?
Yeah, well, we've got the awesome moderators, like you said. We've got Carla, we've got Icy, Sonia.
What's up?
Tamerkins, Ellie. We've got Inyaki, Kirsten, and let us know if hopefully I didn't miss anyone. But if you're listening in or in the chat, give us a shout out, and we'll shout you out.
We'll shout you out. Yeah, just yell all caps in the chat to know that you're here.
Shout, and we'll shout.
And we'll shout. Ah!
Maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, we got a lot to get into tonight, so thank you for being here with us. Before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies about us so we can continue to grow this wonderful Star Wars community and just stay on target community. Help us all stay a little bit more on target with everything we got going on. But yeah, let's jump into the first segment, which is the question of the week.
Nice. Do you want this as a
speak
poll?
Bocce?
No, it's not.
Of course I can, sir. It's like a second language to me. I'm a
All right, shut up. I'll take this.
Shut up, sir.
Luke!
Yeah, I mean, kind of hard to put this as a poll, I'd say, just for, we'd have to get some front runners here. But yeah, the question of the week is, if budget wasn't an issue, who would you cast as the lead of your own Star Wars fan film? Or not fan film, but just film. Fan film too, depending on what it is. But if budget wasn't an issue, who would you cast as the lead of your own Star Wars film? We'd like to hear from you. We'd like to know, okay? I've given this a little bit of thought. Not a ton. I should have given it some more thought, honestly. It's kind of challenging.
It's a tough
for
one.
a lead. Like, when you think of like a leading character or actor, it's got to be somebody who's got gravitas, but also can encapsulate. We should probably specify dead or alive. Is that what people are saying?
No questions yet.
No questions yet when it comes to that.
But the lead of your own, like, this is a Star Wars film about me?
No.
Just my created film about whatever I choose.
Whatever you choose. Okay. But who would you cast in that? So it could be about whatever. But who would you want to be the lead? Although story does play a kind of an... But Anyway, either way, who you think would be a great lead in your own Star Wars?
Yeah. So I think Dead or Alive. I don't know.
You want to go Dead or Alive? I don't know. That throws out a lot of stuff. Let's keep it alive.
Okay,
I think for
okay.
now, and then if
That's
some
more
people want to
positive.
throw in dead options,
That sounds horrible.
that does sound horrible. There's some great actors that have passed away.
Yeah.
And
very
recently,
true.
that in their prime, I think would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see here. Who would I cast? You know, what's coming up straight away in my mind is Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh,
I
nice.
just feel like given the right role, I mean, honestly, if they did, I always go back to it, but if they did the Heir to the Empire, if they did Heir to the Empire, I think that would be awesome if they cast him as Thrawn,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
as
yeah.
a younger Thrawn. Now, if I was making a fan film, if I was making a film, I would be
Yeah.
making Heir to the Empire, and I would cast Benedict Cumberbatch as Thrawn. Like, obviously, it just
Hands
it
down.
makes perfect sense to me. It's perfect casting in my opinion, and I think he would knock it out of the park. And then, you know, if I were to continue on that line, I would go with Sebastian Stan as Luke. I'd get Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo. I'd get what's her name's daughter?
Oh, yeah.
I just lost it. I always lose it live. Of course. I forget it.
Yeah, I'll
But
look it up.
Leia's daughter.
Yeah. The chat will get it.
They'll
before me.
let me know. Yeah, you guys will let me know. Her daughter in real life. And then I would go with Donald Glover as Lando. I mean, it would be
Billy Lord.
Billy Lord. Thank you. Yeah, Billy Lord as Leia, and I would just follow right along with that, and that's what I would make. I would do it as close to the book series as possible, and I think he'd be like kind of my leading man with Sebastian Stan. Obviously, there's a lot of lead characters in that film. You could even get who's the guy? Warwick Davis. I would get Warwick Davis back to either voice, because I think he was the one who voiced Rook in the Rebels.
Oh,
And I'd love to have him back in some capacity because he's a staple in Star Wars. So, all right. Well, that's kind of my pick when it comes to Star Wars lead for what I'd want to do with a film. So, what about you, fact checker?
oh, this is tough. I did have someone, but they passed away a few years ago, so I can't.
So you're going the
use-
dead option.
Well, no,
I do live option, and I want to hear that
I'll
option.
stick
I
alive.
want to hear that.
So for, it's so hard. There's so many options. Man, it's really hard to narrow it down. But I think I would say Keanu Reeves as a main option, just because I've heard good things about him being a good person in real life, but he's also a great actor, with action, and yeah, should just be a good film with him. So that would be my pick, Keanu Reeves.
Oh, you're going Keanu. Okay, sorry.
I don't
We're
know.
doing a little
I
technical
know.
things there in the
I know.
background.
I'm just filling space.
I missed a little bit. I'm sorry. You're going to have
That's
to
right.
repeat a little bit of that. I'm sorry. We had some technical stuff going on. But
Yeah, Keanu Reeves, because I've heard good things about him in real life. Like, he's a good guy.
oh, yeah. I
He's
always.
a great
yeah.
actor, good with action, and I think he would be a welcome addition to the Star Wars universe.
Definitely. I think it'd be amazing. Do you know what role you'd want to put him in, or what kind of?
I don't have a story. I'm
I
not.
could give you an
Okay,
one
yes,
of the
go right
options. One of the
ahead.
big ones online is that
Oh.
they want him to play Revan.
Oh, okay,
Revan is a
nice.
very interesting character
Yeah.
in the Old Republic, which is
Okay.
far removed from a lot that's going on. But they'd have to stick very close to the story, I think, to get it right. But he
Nice.
could do a fantastic job as Revan. Although I will, as much as I love Keanu, he's very much more action based, I feel like, than he is like large swaths of acting when it comes to
Sure.
depth of like highs and lows of like deep sorrow versus like very high highs. Like, because if you play that role, you have to have some acting range, I think, there. And that would be, I don't think it would be difficult. Obviously, if there's a lot of action, he'd do a great job too, and he looks very like he could fit in. So
Well,
sorry.
yeah, because don't we like action in Star Wars?
We definitely do. Yeah,
But no,
no.
you still have to act. I mean, have serious moments, but he does have serious stuff in all of his shows. I don't know.
No, he
That's my
definitely
pick.
does.
I'm sticking with it.
He's good with weight. No, I definitely like the choice. I think whatever you give
nice.
him. I think that's one of the best like leading men though when it comes to a lot of Star Wars at this point anyway. Or not Star Wars, but it's in general.
Yeah.
He pulls a crowd now. I mean, you look at John Wick and all that stuff that he's been doing.
Yeah.
And he's just so likable, like you're saying. So
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always seeing the memes of him on the subway, or just he blends right in
Right.
with normal people, and that's pretty cool.
yeah, that's one thing. He's always been very grounded. And I believe his name, Keanu, is Hawaiian, and it means something with like going with the wind or something like
Oh,
that.
that's awesome.
We should probably fact check that. I don't want to spread misinformation. But it was something cool like that. And it just kind of fits his MO. He's just such a cool guy. And even for like The Matrix, he gave like a lot of the money he made from The Matrix to his stunt team.
Yeah.
He's like done some incredible stuff. Keanu is an amazing human being.
Yeah,
So-
definitely. Well, my dead option.
Yeah, what's your dead
if
option?
You want me to say that? The first thing that came to my mind, and I don't know exactly why or what role, but Sean Connery.
I was thinking the same
Oh,
thing.
really? Okay, yeah. He
Honestly.
would be awesome in this.
That's crazy.
At any age. Just I want the accent again.
I know.
I
Sean
miss that.
Connery.
I mean,
can't even do it very
It's
good.
perfect for Star Wars when they usually have a lot of British accents or British
Oh, yeah.
actors or So
Would it be good guy or villain?
I would want good guy. I don't like it when he was a bad guy.
You don't like when he was a bad guy.
No.
Okay.
It's too good.
I think he could play both very well.
Yeah.
But I was actually, it's funny.
That
He's
is
definitely
funny.
one that came to mind. And I do really think that would be a great option. But enough about us. What's the
Yeah.
chat saying? Let's get to the amazing people out there and what
Oh.
they're saying.
Yeah, some great answers. Tamerkin said Johnny Depp as Hondo Onaka.
Oh, yes.
That would be hilarious.
That could be absolutely amazing. I
It
would
would be.
absolutely love that.
He's the best pirate actor out there,
He is.
in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, by far. Although, well, he's a little serious, but the guy who plays Barbossa,
Yeah,
He's a
yeah,
very
he
good
is very
pirate.
good. But he's
not goofy though. He's not goofy.
yeah, not goofy. We need the goofy.
We do need the goofy.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep, definitely.
So,
And Hunter just jumped in
what's up, Hunter?
and said Clint Eastwood as Cad Bane, but I think he just means Clint Eastwood.
Oh yeah, yeah, no,
in
yeah.
general.
No, obviously that would be an epic choice.
Definitely.
That's base. I mean, in some ways, it's like basically what that role was made for. That role
Yeah.
was really designed after Clint Eastwood
Or John Wayne.
or John Wayne.
I don't know.
But he's got the
The
even
swag.
even Mando is very similar with like the shawl type thing.
That's true. That is more Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, is that A Fistful of Dollars? I think is what that one's based off of.
Sure.
Correct me in the chat. I haven't seen all of those movies, so don't at me too much. But be kind. I do love Clint Eastwood though. Amazing.
Yeah, he is a good actor. Yeah, let's see. Luke is in the chat, so good to see you, Luke.
What's up, Luke? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, said Denzel Washington would play a good character, or Joaquin Phoenix.
Ooh, both
Yeah,
very good.
definitely.
Oh man, yeah. Denzel is serious acting. Man, who would he play though? That would be like he could play a really good Mace Windu.
Or
But,
just
I mean,
really
you already
good
have a great
Jedi.
Mace Windu. Yeah.
Yeah. We already have. Yeah, don't take it.
No,
away
I'm not
from
taking it away from him. I'm just saying
This is
like
a new. This is a new Star Wars film. You're dreaming. of.
right, exactly. Sorry, my bad. Or well, he's not necessarily a younger Mace. But
Not-
he could play a really good Jedi Master
Yeah.
though. I wouldn't want to see him as like a Sith, I don't think. I think I'd rather see
No,
him as a
as a
Jedi.
good guy.
Yeah.
The Loki
And then what was-
character would be a good. What's his name? They played Loki.
Oh yeah. Oh, Tom Hiddleston.
Yes, he
Tom
would-
Hiddleston.
He would
could,
be a good bad guy.
He'd be a good bad guy, but he'd be a really good guy too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or he would actually play like almost like a perfect smuggler / pirate or maybe even bounty hunter that just like is
Mm-hmm.
goofy or not goofy, but like plays the in between. I mean, that's like Loki's character in a lot of ways. He plays both sides. So
Yes, yeah,
and he's just
very
looking
true.
out for himself, which
Yeah.
would be a perfect smuggler or
Yeah.
or something like that. Who's more in the middle, a little bit more ambiguous. Maybe you don't even know what he's about. That would be a very intriguing character, Tom Hiddleston.
Definitely. Well, Hunter said fistful of dollars, a few dollars more, and good, and the ugly all poncho. I think going back to Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, the poncho. Yeah,
Okay.
I love that poncho, man. I know it's it's such an iconic look though too, and it had some practicality with the pistols being underneath of it. You couldn't see what he was doing.
Tricky.
Also, there was a really goofy movie called Mystery Men like a long time ago, not for kids. But it was the silliest
disclaimer.
thing where this guy, his superpower was like he could throw silverware, but he was like really accurate with like certain silverware, but he got really good with forks. And like he
Wow.
couldn't just throw it like normal, so he had to cover it up. And when he covered it up, he was way better. So
That's
I don't know
hilarious.
why that rang in my head, but it's pretty funny. Joaquin Phoenix, though, going back to who said that?
Luke
said
said
that. Joaquin Phoenix. Amazing actor. I mean,
Yeah.
you watch him in Gladiator. He's a disturbed individual, at least on screen. It feels. I don't know if
He
in real
can
life
portray that.
he can
Hopefully
portray that
he's sane
really
in
well,
real life.
which could be a great like person going to the dark side. He would play a really compelling villain that fell from grace. You know, maybe was a Jedi, but was like going insane or something was off. You know, he could almost play a. Oh shoot, what's his name? The guy who actually makes the clone army. I just had it. It's gone. Help me in the chat there, or fact checker.
I missed it.
Sifo Dyas.
Oh,
He could
nice.
play. I think he would play a really good Sifo Dyas because how they play him and certain other idioms is he's kind of going mad like Sifo Dyas is. So I think that would be a really good one. But Joaquin, you give him any role with a good script, and he's going to bring magic in some ways. Disturbed magic, mind you, but magic nonetheless.
Yeah, Bismo was helping you out, and he's in the chat and said Sifo Dyas.
Thanks, Bismo. What's up, dude? Thanks for jumping in. We appreciate it. He said Sifo Dyas. Yeah, he's got my back. Bismo's always got my back.
Luke agrees.
Yeah, and he's also saying, Bismo saying, I want Keanu Reeves as Darth Revan.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
which we were talking about for sure. Yeah, he would be amazing.
Yeah, let's see.
What else we got?
Sorry, let me scroll back up.
Goofy movie is a good movie, Mrs. Van Reek. It is a very good movie. I watched that with my kids not too long ago. It was amazing.
Oh, that's fun. A few people said Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
She is really good.
We were talking about that a few weeks ago, and
She's already in Star Wars.
yeah,
So would
she's-
you cast her as a different role?
That
That
could-
would be tough.
I don't know. I might almost leave that more up to her in some ways. Just because I don't know. What would she want to do? Would she want to come back to that character as Padme? I thought if they brought her back, the best what we talked about a few weeks ago was you could really bring her back and do what they did in Ahsoka and have her be like a live action Clone Wars arc and bring her in with some mission that maybe her and Ahsoka do together. But it's based off Clone Wars because there's some Clone Wars episodes where they're working together, and I think that could be really intriguing and really interesting. And it'd be cool to have her back. It'd be nostalgic, but give her something fresh to do as well. Then you could even bring in Hayden again. You could get the trifecta going on.
Well, Tamerkin said bring her back in the What If series.
Ooh, that's a
clever.
great point. Yeah, he's queuing it up for us. Or she. Shoot, I don't.
Tamerkin, she.
I'm so sorry, Tamerkins. I'm
No
terrible
worries.
at this. But yeah, no, she's queuing us up for later because we're going to talk about that later.
we
and I'm
will.
excited to talk about that. Any other last ones before we move on here?
Yeah, Hannah said Rebecca Ferguson as Bastilla for canon Star Wars.
Okay, Rebecca Ferguson. I'm drawing a blank. That sounds super
It is
familiar.
really familiar. I can't picture her either.
She's from Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
She's Swedish.
Okay. Swedish.
Okay. Oh yeah. Yep. She Mission Impossible
Okay.
mostly
Okay.
Dune, but the
Oh, she's the
Yes,
mom in Dune.
yes.
Yes,
Greatest
she is.
Showman,
She is a
yep.
very good actress. Yeah, that could be amazing. That would be amazing. I like that.
yeah.
Man, these are some great, absolute, fantastic picks. I love them all.
I know, and there was more.
More to come,
Thanks
yeah.
for sharing your ideas, everyone.
If we missed
Good
it
stuff.
too, you could always ask a question in there. We'll get to it later.
Yep. Keep an eye on that Q&A section.
Yeah.
Pop us a question when it comes to mind.
Definitely. All right. Well, much to see moving on. We're continuing with this 7 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in a little earlier. We're still trying it out, seeing what you guys think. It seemed to go well last week, so I think we're going to continue this time from now. If you haven't yet, check out all our music we got up. We got Santava, we got Fact Checker Chill, both versions, and Rule of Two, if you want your faces to be shredded off by Hunter Davis.
Nice.
It's fantastic. So go check them out. Give us some support
Especially
there.
in the middle of winter. Get some
Yeah.
warmth pumping through your veins.
Yeah, especially if you need to pump some iron, right, Hunter? Get it shredding. All right, and music to come in the future for sure. More music to come, so look out for that. Cool. Well, we got... I'm
looking forward to all this stuff coming up, too.
Yes. There he is.
It's going to be a good time. How you guys doing out there in the chat? How you doing? Stay on target,
Dan is
people.
here.
Dan is back,
I
baby.
am physically here and mentally almost here, but I'm so excited to see you guys and hear about all of you wonderful people's opinions on who you would cast. I walked in when you were talking about Rebecca Ferguson. I was like, that'd be an amazing cast in Star Wars. She's just a killer actress. And anyway, I don't know. It's a good time. Yeah, I mean, this is fun to cast your own fan film or your own film.
Yeah.
I would not cast myself, but I would hire myself to do the music.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
Would be fun.
Do you have any? Well, let's throw the question back to you, Dan, if you want to answer this one.
Who would I put in a film?
Yeah, if budget wasn't an issue, who would you cast as the lead of your own Star Wars film?
Because my style of movie is like,
Dark.
fancy. Like I want like Scorsese.
1917.
Yeah, I want high caliber. So it'd have to be somebody really expensive.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, like Oppenheimer. I love like Nolan films. Just the cinematography.
Yeah.
Like an actor
Yeah.
that you can tell you everything that you need to know in that scene, but they don't have to say a word.
Say a word, yeah.
And there's a lot of actors. I mean, that's what they're all trained to do. But I don't know. I mean, you guys had some great ones out there.
Well, what if I threw out one for you?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I like Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
He's an example of a guy. He's a little loopy.
Is that, okay. I thought you were setting us up to like destroy us.
Like it was the wrong answer earlier. No,
Did you guys say Joaquin Phoenix?
They did, yeah.
Okay,
Luke
see,
did.
then we're on the same page because it's an actor that can tell you so much without having to say a word. But there's a million of them. I like Cumberbatch too. He's a solid actor.
Yeah, that's what I kind of went with.
Okay.
With the Heir to the Empire, that's what I do. That just straight like from the books, but him be Thrawn. So, but go ahead. Yeah. So you like Joaquin?
Yeah. Basically anybody that's won an Oscar for Best Actor. Just go down the list.
Wow.
It's
a big list.
It's a big list, but it's only one a year. So
That's true.
Would you put Joaquin in a like gritty like war movie? But in Star Wars?
I think I would totally do that.
Like boots on the ground.
I would love to see Joaquin in that sort of a movie. I haven't seen. Have you guys seen the movie with him, Napoleon?
I haven't seen that yet.
I've heard it's really good. I heard it's not as good as maybe some people had expected, like overall.
Yeah, I heard it was kind of not as good. I
don't know if I want Napoleon. I don't want if I want him in like an action movie. To find that actor that can, like Adrian Brody. Did anybody say Adrian Brody?
No,
Nobody said Adrian Brody, but he is a fantastic
The Pianist,
actor.
that movie, it's like he's on the run, but just make
I never
that
saw
like
that one.
Yeah, it's World War II, but make
hard.
that like it's intense. Make that like he's getting away from the Empire. In that movie, he's a pianist and he's getting away from the Nazis. Yeah. So you could put that in some planet, and the Empire's after him because he's a Jedi,
right?
But he hasn't been trained yet, so he's only got so many skills, and he's basically just on the run. And maybe at the end he is able to push him.
That would be a great take, yeah. But end it more hopeful than probably what happened. I don't know what happened.
No, I think it's based on a true story.
Okay.
But I like those. I like that kind of stuff. So that's the only thing I can think of right now. But
I think with Joaquin, what I was kind of thinking was maybe like a Jedi falling from grace going into the dark side, but it's like messing him up. So like you could do like semi-war movie with Joaquin. Like because he's fighting in the Clone Wars or something like that, and that he's being disillusioned, or some other force is kind of tapping in. He's losing it a little bit, but he's still fighting here and there. But it's more like a suspense.
You know who I would want him to be though?
Yeah, who?
I would want him to be like an Agent Callus type.
Oh, okay. So more working for like the Empire, or?
Right? But troubled. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that they do Callus. And how he starts to turn.
He would play a good
like even
Callus.
at this point, now he's for the rebellion. Thank goodness he's on the right side. But some character like that's starts off in the Empire, does some horrible things, maybe I don't want not that horrible. I don't want the good guys to get beat up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But somebody that's super conflicted. I'd rather see that than the opposite of Joker, where he's good and he goes.
Yeah, although he
Yeah.
plays that so well. That's
Yeah,
the
he
only
does.
thing. I feel like he plays going into madness better than he does. But it would be a good change of pace for him, maybe, to go from madness to like good.
Sanity.
Like,
I want him to-
like bringing himself. Maybe be lethargic for him.
Yeah, lethargic. You mean?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but no, I think
can say words.
I want him to be. I want him to end up good, but I don't want him to lose the craziness. You know what I'm saying? Like I want him to
Yeah.
be
Still have a
for
hint
the
of it.
rebellion, but still have that little like we still don't know if he's all there. But
Yeah.
anyway, I just added
Elements.
another 10 minutes to that question that
No,
was already
you're good.
done.
We wanted to get your take. Thanks for jumping in there, homie.
Yeah,
I like that hat too. Looking good.
Ooh,
You like that hat?
It looks good.
If the blur doesn't work, anyway, just stay on target.
Stay on target. New merch up on the store. Check it out if you want. No worries.
It's comfortable and it keeps my little chrome dome warm.
Chrome Dome. What? Oh man. I like how Bismo said Ray Stevenson. Yeah, sad. Yeah, for sure. He was amazing. I that's the most disappointing thing about
Without a doubt.
Star Wars right now for me is that Ray Stevenson's gone. We can't see more of his portrayal. Man, there's a lot of good stuff. Mel Gibson as a commander of some freedom fighter group. Heck yeah, dude. If you saw what's that movie with Mel Gibson when they're in like Vietnam? I think it's Vietnam and they're like totally trapped. That's an amazing film, and I think that's what Hunter's pulling from. Definitely that would be amazing. But yeah.
Actually, now that you reminded me of that,
I think is it A Few Good? No, what is the name of that movie? I just lost it. Anyway, let me know.
anyway, Jim Caviezel
Yes.
Yeah.
in
that
Star
would be
Wars,
good.
just he can
We
do
Were
anything,
Soldiers.
right?
Oh, dude. Yeah, We Were Soldiers.
We Were
That's what it
Soldiers,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie. Not for kids, but
Yep. And did I hear that? Hunter said that they did my boy Napoleon dirty. So
Yeah.
is he's saying they screwed it up,
I think
Or-
he's saying he's
or
Napoleon.
or he's saying that he likes Napoleon so much that he's got a Napoleon complex.
Maybe.
Oh,
Oh, whoa. Shots
I
fired.
don't know.
No,
he said they did
just-
my boy Napoleon dirty. I don't know what it means. Please explain.
Right.
I need to know.
Yeah, Jim Caviezel will be an amazing one, though, too, like you were saying. Oh,
Count of
man.
Monte Cristo
Count
in
of Monte
Star
Cristo,
Wars.
that is
Where he's
such a
got to
good
get his
movie.
revenge against somebody. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But then he's got to choose at the end to do the right thing. Oh, that would be really good, dude. That would be super good. Wow. Yeah. You just got my mind. We just got my mind racing on like 10 different movies, possible Star Wars movies. I could like blow everything else out of the water. There's so many good examples. That's the crazy thing about Star Wars. Like you could take all of these things and make any of them, and they would be better than anything that Disney Star Wars has come out with. Yeah, it drives me crazy.
That's 100% true.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should probably move on here, but thank you for continuing to post, you guys. We're seeing it there in the chat, and you guys are killing it. Carla Hawkins likes Jim Caviezel as well. Yep. He's awesome. Mel Gibson is fantastic.
Yeah, she said his voice, was John Smith. You're right. He's a great
Yeah.
voice actor.
Mel Gibson. Yep.
Yeah. So even if he played like an alien or something,
You could do that with a lot of these. I mean,
any of
animation's huge. And I mean, they make animated movies that are massive now. You could, if you you did that in the right way, that could totally blow up. You don't even have to do it like the Clone Wars style. You could do like, what if you got like Pixar involved and you made a Star Wars movie with Pixar? Actually, I'd like them to go back to the 90s style animation. I really like that animation style, like Treasure Planet, was the other Atlantis. I really like that art style. I wish they would go back to that. And I think Star Wars could do really good in that as well. But anyway, sorry. Much to see moving on. We could talk about this forever. But yeah, thank you. If you want to keep submitting those, who you want to see in the comments below too. If you're watching later, if you're watching live, thanks for being here again. We're going to jump into some news here soon, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your friends. Just want to throw that out there real quick. All right. Let's jump into some news. Nope.
Everything's under control. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
All right. Sorry, I'm laughing at myself. I was trying to delay and I look like a doofus. All right. Well, we got lots of news tonight. We got lots of HoloNet news. We're all fine here. It's okay.
it's very true.
Yeah. We're all. I think everybody's riding the struggle bus this Wednesday. But now that we're on Stay on Target, we're getting everything back on.
Yeah, there we go. We're
Getting back on target.
We're getting back on target, baby.
Ditto.
All right, so let's kick off this news here. Just dropping today. The Mandalorian and I don't like. It's hard for me to say in some ways, but the Mandalorian and Grogu is rumored to be written by Dave Filoni. It sounds like he is going to be taking over the script for that movie. And so Bismo and I were talking about it a little bit last week on his stream every Thursday. Check it out. Nice. We had a great time over there. Thanks for having me on, Bismo. If you haven't yet, go like, comment, subscribe over to his channel. Tell him that we sent you, and to stay on target. But yeah, and so more what we talked about though is that it sounds like they are going to be doing the episodes 1 through 6. So it's going to be season 4 of The Mandalorian, basically, but it's going to be Mandalorian Grogu. And they're going to be doing episodes 1 through 6. And the movie is going to be the finale of that season. So
like episode 7 and 8.
Episode 7 and 8, basically. But they're turning it into a movie, and I believe that movie is going to be released in theaters. So... and we talked about a lot of this last week, but we'll get your takes here, everybody, as well. Yeah, and there's some more news. Like there's even more that dropped. This came from I want to give credit here. This came from That Park Place, WDW Pro. If you don't know who that is, YouTuber online, but he also has some scoops that he breaks online as well. And it came from That Park Place, which is the article he wrote, some news that he found out. And one of the other things they did mention was, from what they were hearing today, is that possibly Favreau might have checked out like season 2.
Uh-oh.
And that makes a lot of sense for the writing. If you look back, and they even said that he checked out halfway through season 2, which I don't know about that. It seems more, and maybe he knew the final plot and everything like that. But I'm pretty sure he was up till the end of season 2. But if you think about it, I mean, when did the writing and everything really start to take a nosedive from Disney Plus Star Wars? When you look back at it, it's after Mandalorian season 2. Everything just dives down.
I think it's as soon as he started writing Boba Fett and spreading himself thin, in my opinion.
And I think he wrote Boba Fett. But I think they changed a lot of it. I think the director of that with Kathleen Kennedy, especially after bringing Luke back, I still stand. It's all rumor, so I don't know for sure. But I still think what happened was he brought in Luke, and they surprised KK with that because it was actually supposed to be Plo Koon that they were bringing back. That's who they told. They told everybody it was Plo Koon, but it was definitely not. And I mean, it'd be hard to get it past KK, but I feel like they did, and that surprised her enough because she hates Luke and she hates a lot of the real main male characters. So I think that ticked her off enough that she got her grubby little hands into everything that came after that, and I think that's whenever Favreau was just like, "All right, here's my ideas. This is where I was thinking of going, but here you go. I'll help with as much as possible." I think he checked out, I don't think he was really like as hands-on after that point because I think he got burned a little bit. Yikes. Because I mean he brought Star Wars back. It was in the public eye, it was blowing away the movies at the time,
Or was it that Filoni maybe got pulled into other stuff, so their pairing wasn't as strong as it was in the beginning?
I do think that's part of it. But I don't know. It's hard to say. There's so much behind the scenes that I think Favreau was Filoni was being pulled thin with all the different projects going on, and he had never had to work on this many live action projects at once. So a little bit of grace there. He's really working on his Ahsoka thing, but he's trying to. They basically like, all right, Filoni and Favreau, like you guys did great on the first one. First season is a huge success. Let's do everything. And they just threw it all on them. And now they're trying to construct this entire like Mandoverse like universe and tie things together. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask. And yeah, if you're not prepared for that, or if you don't give enough time, I think that's part of it. If they were going to do that, I really think they should have taken more time instead of trying to release show after show after show after show in a year. Maybe release one show a year and really make sure that that is like amazing and have all your eggs in the basket and make sure everything's totally like tight, like fitting, kind of like you know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe when it was popping. Now it sucks, but it was good there for a time. So
Well, Icy did say Andor obviously it wasn't Favreau or Filoni, but that came out.
that's a good point.
Season 2 of
That's
Mando.
a very good point right there. Yeah. So Andor's kind of an outlier in some ways.
Yeah,
But I think a lot of
was.
that though was because that was filmed over in the UK. I don't think that had nearly as much to do with KK or And I think KK probably saw that as like just like a side like.
but didn't they give a lot of budget?
They did give a lot of budget,
Which
but I
is
think it's
interesting.
because they had to for filming a lot of it live
Oh, sure, okay.
because they weren't using
That's
the volume.
right. Oh, yeah.
But which I you know, that take it that or leave it,
Yeah.
you know. And also, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
No, I just think that was far enough away that they couldn't tinker with Andor. They had to make phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah.
weren't shooting it down the road
Right.
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So less local KK hands in the pie and you know, our underlings keeping an eye on things probably. So they were able to do it. Yeah, and I think they got the huge budget to shoot on location.
Which
how
paid
they
off.
pulled that through, I don't know. Other than it must have been lingering deals from Rogue One, because that project was in the works probably for a long time too.
I think so.
You know, because there was talk.
Well,
it
Rogue
gonna
One
be a
was so
movie.
successful.
Right, it was going to be a movie, and I remember hearing all this stuff. I mean, of course, everything was a mess during that era.
Well, and Rogue One was even created by like a fan. It was someone within Lucasfilm. Who was
Right.
that came up with the idea for Lucasfilm? I forget, but it was
Somebody
one
in the chat will know.
it was one of the long like they've been
up
working for Lucasfilm.
I thought he
a
worked
long
for
time.
ILM too.
Yeah, he was like ILM, one of the heads
was
of ILM.
John
I
or
forget now.
Bob or Dave or one of these guys.
Yeah, nailed
One
it.
of those guys.
Chat, help us out in it,
You
or
mean Tony Gilroy?
Tony Gill.
Oh.
No,
Well, no.
for
What did you say?
No,
Rogue
who
One.
came up with the
Oh, Rogue
idea
One.
for
Oh,
Rogue
sorry.
One.
Rogue
It
One's
was his
story idea.
Yeah,
And John Knoll.
Yes,
John Knoll.
John. No, I was right.
yeah.
John. No, I didn't say John. I said
What-
Dave.
Which is what's he ahead of? He was head of
I just closed it.
I think it was ILM.
ILM.
Not in charge of it, but I think he did some.
Chief Creative Officer of
Yeah.
ILM at this
ILM.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's the
And
current one.
he's a true fan. He's been working within Lucasfilm Star Wars for years, and that's why I think that story really paid off because it was a passion that he had in Star Wars, and they ran with that.
Yeah, because he worked on the prequels and
Yeah.
the 1997 special edition of the original trilogy. And he was one of the original creators of Adobe Photoshop.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
That makes sense.
He's a smart dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely go with his idea. But yeah, so anyway, getting back to this though, how do you guys feel about Dave Filoni taking over for Favreau when it comes to the script for Mando and Grogu? I don't know about the entire series. I'm thinking it's the entire series and then the finale, Mando and Grogu. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, that's rumor, right?
It's rumor. Yeah. It's all total rumor.
So it's not news.
It's not full on news. No, it is not confirmed by Lucasfilm or anything like that. It's complete rumor. So what do you guys think of this rumor?
If it were true that that Dave Filoni was writing it, it would, to be honest, be a little bit more nerve wracking. Or are you talking about he's writing the story, or for the show, or the movie, or both?
I think both.
Both, yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. Okay, here it's saying the original scripts for season 4 will continue to be used for episodes 1 through 6. For the final 2 episodes, however, Dave Filoni will plus the treatments so that they are no longer just a season finale, but rather they are the beginning of the great theatrical drama that is Clone Wars and Rebels characters taking on Thrawn. So I think
they're playing it like it's going to get bigger because it has to get bigger if Thrawn's there.
Yeah.
So we saying we're going to see like the Ahsoka crew come in to Mando? That only makes sense to me. And if that's the case, then yes, those are his characters.
Right.
So he has to get involved, I suppose. So because
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's continuing that. Who wrote season 1 and season 2 of Mandalorian?
Favreau.
Exclusively?
With Dave Filoni's
Right,
help.
with Dave Filoni. So
I think what happened there, though, I'm not sure, but I think what happened was Favreau wrote the scripts and got them like reviewed and edited by Filoni for like fitting it in with Star Wars,
right,
and like certain things.
I'm just saying, like, that team up works pretty well.
Agreed.
Because John knows how to make. I'm sorry, Dave. John Favreau knows how to make a movie and make it cinematic. And I think his writing is decent, but I think he just has more of like an eye for it. Like, he knows when it's good and he knows when it's not. And sometimes you're in production, you're like, it's not good, but there's not much you can do about it. Whereas Dave, I think, because he thinks through every little detail, notwithstanding the Ahsoka show, because he didn't think through every detail in that show. If you can say that Dave exclusively wrote it, which I think he did, there's some stuff in there that I'm like, that's a weird transition.
Yeah.
So that's where I can't say, only because of Ahsoka does it make me have a little bit of a pause. But I think I think what happened in Ahsoka is Filoni wrote it all basically by himself, and he didn't have anybody looking over his shoulder. And he couldn't, even though he had it, written out, I think he got lost in the live action transformation. Because as we know, it's 3 parts to a movie or a show. It's like the writing, the actual filming, and the post-production. And I think that Ahsoka show got a little bit hacked to bits in the latter 2, when they started shooting, when they started editing. I think his story was there, Filoni.
Right.
But it just fell apart on the delivery, which is the acting and the shooting of it, and then
the world building,
and then the editing, right? But he built the world. I mean, Filoni built the world out. He took us to Peridia. He did these things.
Right.
He just, once we got there, it started to feel like just like cut up. Like, what? Why did we miss this conversation over here? And why did they only have 4 seconds on screen together to like make up and see each other? You know what I mean? So I think some of that fell apart in the latter 2 of the making of the show. But if Filoni is by himself writing Mandalorian, I'm not happy about it.
Right.
If he is writing it with Favreau, I'm fully in support, because Favreau needs to be involved.
I think Favreau's still involved at some point, because as far as we knew, season 4 was already completed by Favreau. By the time of the, like, when they were finishing up season 3, I thought, or when it was releasing or something like that. So I think Favreau's still helping. I just don't know to what extent. I wish we could know the extent of things. It's his it's also, but in some ways it's his character. Yeah. I mean, but Lucasfilm owns it. So,
but he kicked him off.
Yeah,
gave him the big boost.
Yeah, and it was his idea, and it was his execution of getting everything in place with Dave Filoni. Although, to your point with Ahsoka, Dan, I agree with you on they had the story. I think what Dave really had was he knew he had a beginning, a middle, and an end, not necessarily in the storytelling sense, but as in what he wanted to show. And where he wanted to be at the end of it. I just don't think he really knew the right trajectory on how to get there, and in the way that they did it.
Like, he knew all the elements he wanted to incorporate, but
right?
Not.
And I think he had a lot of interaction with the other story group and KK for sure, with how the characters need to behave, and what characters.
Well, he was writing it in an era where everybody was locked down, and this, that, and the other, and things were transitioning in the world, and all of that pushback, and there was a different person in charge of Lucas or Disney at the time, and it's just, what a mess.
Right.
Just because Disney's been in a mess and Lucasfilm has been in a mess. But KK clearly has been in a mess because she doesn't know what she's doing on any of these things.
Yeah.
Well, and if they listen to the fans were, I mean, we were all blowing up about the Mando Grogu movie news with Favreau. Mostly because of Favreau.
Yeah.
But,
and this,
hopefully they're paying attention. They need to be.
I hope they are. I really hope they are. And really, I think a lot of this is still going to be Favreau, especially if he wrote. But I don't know if he's checked out since season 2, and he's just helping Dave and not actually more involved with it.
But
I don't know.
why did he get checked out? Why did he just randomly check out? They're giving him paychecks. Why would he check out?
Well, he's not. He doesn't work specifically for Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
He's an independent agent. He's got his own studio. He can do his own thing.
But he hasn't done anything himself.
He's been working on some other projects, from what I've.
But he's never released anything since he started doing The Lion King and all the other Disney projects. He's been
Right.
on Disney's
Correct.
payroll, so he's pretty exclusive to Disney right now. I think he's liking the dough.
I think he's liking the dough.
So I don't think he'd be like, I'm out. After like 7 years of working for Disney, he'd be like, I'm done, just randomly in the middle of my most successful season of Mandalorian. I don't completely buy that.
Okay, yeah, and he might just be, but you can also say though, did it not dip the quality of material after season 2? Why did it dip?
Oh, it definitely dipped.
Why did everything go straight down the tubes after?
I think because he wrote it. I think he wrote season 1 and season 2 before the pandemic.
You think it's the pandemic that got him?
I think the pandemic changed everything in the entertainment industry. And
For sure, yeah.
Well, I mean, it definitely did. But I'm saying he wrote it. I think he wrote most of season 2 after he wrote season 1 with Filoni, which they handcrafted together. And they put it together, and Mando 1 was amazing, and Mando 2 was so successful and only came out like a year later. Did it not? Or was 2 years later?
I thought it was 2.
Yeah, because Boba Fett came out next, right?
No. Yeah, was it just a year later? Because
We'll have to fact check that.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
so Mando's season 1 and then season 2. What was the gap?
What was
Because it
the
was
gap?
season 2. But Boba Fett came out after season 2 of Mando.
Yeah, I think season 2 was October 30th, 2020, so they were only a year apart. So you don't have time to write that and do all that stuff. You have it written. So as soon as the first one ended, they were already filming number 2. Actually, probably while it was being aired, they're filming number 2. So they're seeing what works, they're going with it, and then they're filming it. Then all of a sudden, the pandemic happens. They were going in maybe to shoot season 3, and then they had all this pause and time and issues, and they're like, well, when we're filming now, we can't have 2 people on the same set.
Right.
And we have to have them far apart, and this person's sick this week, so we can't show him. Now, people had clauses in their acting to be like, I don't want to show up. I'm not going to be there because I'm sick. So they're like, crap. So we have different staffing issues. Who knows who was sick during that time? You're not thinking clearly. And then you had money issues, and everybody thought the world was ending. So I think part of the season 3 debacle was the pandemic. And I'm not giving it a pass,
Right.
because there was still some good stuff in there. But I think it's more than just Filoni was out, because to me, or Favreau it just doesn't make sense why Favreau would just jump in the middle of his most successful TV first appearance, as a writer director. Nobody, he could do anything he wanted to at that point.
Yeah, no, and who knows? It's all a rumor. That's
I
the
was
thing.
gonna
We
say,
have no idea.
Could this just be for more PR? Does Disney need
Could
the
be.
PR right now?
Oh, yeah,
Good
they
or
need
bad?
good PR.
Well,
But
primarily.
if
but
they're in the news,
Yeah.
I think what happened is this Rey film. This is what I think the lead story is that Rey is being canceled, as we know, because that's been being trashed on for 2 months.
If it's actually being canceled, that's another news that we're going to jump into after this.
Right, but I'm saying this had to drop because they had to put something positive out there before they dropped the negative, so that they could be like, look, check this out. We're doing this now. We're pivoting. So instead of saying we're just scrapping the Rey film, because they just like 3 months ago said they were filming it in 3 months, instead of just being like, oh, we're filming it. Oh, we're not filming it. And nothing else is on the list. They're like, you have to say what's next if you're scrapping the one that you said was next.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
and we'll jump into that here. I got a lot more on that when we get to the Rey stuff, but it ties together. Oh, they also had movie slots for filming over in Pinewood Studios in the UK, and if they miss that, they actually have to pay out a lot more money. So if they actually film something, they get kickbacks and stuff like that. So financially, it did not make sense. They realized that which they should have from the beginning. They realized that the Rey movie was total garbage, and they were not prepared at all. They've been through 2 writers, I believe, already for that film, and the third might. They're still waiting for another draft. I think from the third is from the recent news that has been shared online when it comes to the Rey movie. So I think it ties together, like you're saying, Dan. So they were like, oh crap, we're definitely not going to make that first timeline. What else can we pivot PR wise, like you're saying, pivot PR. Let's give them something exciting that people actually want to see and we know is successful. It's a safe bet. Put the Grogu one out there. We're going to do that. Mando and Grogu. All right, they're going to eat it up. Good PR. It gets people excited about Star Wars again. And it also fills that slot. It fills that slot for Pinewood Studios in the UK to have something filming going on there.
makes sense.
And they also already have a story because Favreau wrote it. And I think Dave is going to be taking over a lot of the script because he's going to want to tie it into his Heir to the Empire movie, which the only thing, though, is that when he was talking about that, he's tweaking this last bit to be, it even says in that article, to be more about the Clone Wars and Rebels characters taking on Thrawn. That sounds more like an Heir to the Empire movie. Are they not just combining these movies? Which is, I don't know, that's interesting to me.
Yeah, we are living in the unknown regions.
It's all rumors.
This is the outer
what is
rim of
happening?
Star Wars, where literally any rumor you find might be exactly what's happened and happening.
Or not happening at all.
Or it
Who
could be
knows?
the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Or it could have 50% truth to it, and things are and that's the true today.
Yeah.
But tomorrow it changes again.
Yeah, because literally everybody yesterday was like, Rey movie canceled.
Yeah.
And then like today it's like, okay, it might not be canceled. We're not sure.
Well, who dropped the news yesterday that Rey movie was being canceled? Are we going to transition into that? I don't want to go too far down if you got a whole setup for it.
Let's finish talking about The Mandalorian. I wanted to get your guys' take on this, though, too. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, just real fast that I think last week some of us were saying it would be nice if we got both a Mando season and a movie. So maybe we'll look back in 2 years and say we called it.
Right.
Just kidding.
We did talk about that
Not
last
that
week.
matters.
And then and I hadn't even heard a lot about that until I got on Bismo shows last week. But I was going to say, that's actually a perfect segue. I was going to get, what do you guys think here about having the season, so episodes 1 through 6 dropping on Disney Plus, and then the finale of that season turned into a movie and premiering in theaters?
I think it's brilliant.
You think that's brilliant?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if they
why do you
manage it correctly, then you're going to get so much hype. You're
Yeah.
literally getting the hype. Now, if they suck it up,
Yeah, so
they can't afford to suck it up.
That's the thing.
But they had the
Even
hype.
more
they,
pressure.
They had us wanting to go watch episode, was it 4 or 5? It was episode 5 in the
5,
theaters. They wanted us to go. I mean, we were, even us at this point with you, Debbie Downers on Ahsoka, we were excited about possibly seeing Ahsoka episode 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's still Star Wars in theaters.
Yeah, exactly. And we haven't had anything in theaters in so long.
Disney Star Wars.
Disney Star Wars. But I'm just saying, like, if they drop it and they do it right, Mandalorian, you're going to get all the push of the show, and then you're going to get the movie. However, it makes me a little nervous, but they know that Mando is more universally loved in general.
Yeah.
So,
It's even with, I think, the stumbling of season 3.
yeah, it's still the best thing that Star Wars has done since the prequels.
It didn't
That's
hurt.
not animation.
Yeah, it still didn't hurt itself as much as most of any other like Star Wars shows that came out other than Andor. I still think all the rest of them did more harm than they did good, and I think Mando was more of just like ended up being more of like a take it or leave it kind of.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, Mando's done. You know,
Yeah.
it did kind of. It was disappointing, but it wasn't like, oh, they've totally ruined everything. You know. But it still wasn't great, to be honest. But yeah, good points there, Dan. Yeah, so I completely agree
do you
with
think?
you.
Yeah. What is your opinion? So what do we want our stay on target opinion to be on this story to punctuate it?
With you, I just say, yeah. So it really depends on the execution.
Yeah.
If they can deliver 6 solid episodes that get us hyped and pumped and gets back to what makes Mandalorian great. You know, why did we like Mandalorian and why do we like Grogu? We want to get some more interesting things happening in Star Wars and some characters that we can get attached to and be excited about. I think if they deliver on those 6 episodes and they really get us hyped for that movie, yeah they're going to knock it out of the park. And it depends also how much I think Favreau and Filoni are working together on the film itself.
Yep.
I think you need Favreau's expertise on the movie industry and also delivering a movie and his takes on having a successful movie, because you look at his track record, he's got a track record of successful movies. You do not want to put him in the back burner. You want to have him in the forefront, I believe, at least guiding that movie to make sure it delivers on everything. And I think he's going to want that to happen because it is his character and it is a lot of his IP. But, with Dave Filoni taking over the script makes me a little nervous, especially with Ahsoka. Now, if I hadn't seen Ahsoka live action and knew some of this stuff.
Right.
But like you were saying even last week, Dan, I don't knock Dave Filoni too much because he has delivered some amazing work in the past. So if he can get back to those roots and really, hone in with Favreau, I think it could be some Star Wars greatness. But if they deliver right, the caveat to this is how much is KK involved, how much is the studio getting involved, Disney, how much agenda are they going to push, and how much is actually going to be focused on story and delivering a good story versus anything else. Because if you get any of that other stuff going on in there, it's going to be a train wreck. I'm telling you now. Yeah. But if they deliver on the greatness that is Star Wars and the Mandalorian Star Wars, it's going to be fantastic.
We have the formula written out.
We do.
We're going to pull it up in a minute, but
right.
They can do it, and people are so excited. They're like chomping at the bit to go to the movies and watch some Mando. Seeing Mando on the big screen with the big sound and all the special effects that are always going to look amazing on the big screen.
Yeah.
We're going to get some amazing moments. I'm really excited to go to the movies and watch Mandalorian. However that ends up being, even if season 4 isn't the best, but I think they're really putting a lot on this. And in one way, if Dave writes it, I'd rather Dave write it than some Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
They hire some Joe Schmo writer,
right?
ChatGPT. I'd rather Dave craft it because then Favreau can go and shoot it. And we know Favreau, he can, was it Iron Man? They had like a script, but it was barely done and they just winged it and it was like the best thing.
Yeah.
Now that also relies on actors that can pull it off.
Yes.
Because George did the same thing in the prequels and those actors were like, we're young. We don't know how to improvise and it didn't work. A lot of the scripts in the prequels, they said, were very, very light. It was more just like ideas. And he's like, what was it? What was the phrase? Like faster with more intensity?
Yeah, that's
and
like
they tried it. So Filoni writing is going to be okay as long as Favreau's there to shepherd it and actually make it magic on screen. Because Filoni can connect the things that should be connected.
Right.
It's just whether or not they appear connected once they're filmed. And that's where it fell apart in Ahsoka.
Yeah.
It's like, this is all the right people. You got all the right stuff. Now, the overall story of Ahsoka was wrong, in my opinion.
I agree.
Peridia's huge. But I guess it was like too big. It was too big for 8 episodes, but then that was at the same time too small for 8 episodes.
Maybe not bizarre. The right delivery system.
Yeah.
I think if you were to make that a movie,
yes.
I think it would have alleviated a lot of those problems.
Absolutely.
And have Favreau direct the movie.
Yes, absolutely.
And Filoni write it and then work together.
Again, that's the 3-headed monster of writing. Then you see what it looks like on camera. Like, that looks really good. That doesn't look really good. And then there's the final treatment of editing and making it move you when you watch it.
Right.
And TV just gets a weird, I don't know why it is that TV just has a hard time.
Well, and he's this is his first outing with live action, show. So in that regard, although I do think he helped with the other ones, I think in that regard, it's a lot. That's a lot to handle. Plus we got moved up. There's a lot. I'm not trying to make excuses for Dave. Even myself, because I'm very critical, but it's because I want it to be better than what it was. But yeah, to your point, oh shoot, I had a point, Dan. I was going to follow you. We went off there a little bit.
Well, I just think.
Yeah, go ahead, fact checker. Sorry.
We need the team. We need Favreau and Filoni.
Oh yeah, that's where I was going
to
go.
Back together again.
Yes, thank you. You got me right back on target, fact checker. No, I was going to say, Dan, to your point, the funny thing is like, Dave Filoni is the heir apparent to George Lucas because he has a story. He's just not the greatest at delivering it. Because what was so successful for A New Hope and why that miraculously made amazing film was because his wife made the edits and really helped. And and it just worked, and the formula worked. But
wife, she could interpret his chaos and make it emotional,
amazing,
and make you feel the character's pain and their happiness.
And then even on top of that, I feel like Empire Strikes Back took it up another level. And in that, you got the story by George Lucas, which is Dave Filoni in this regard, and then you got Irving Kershner.
Yes, Irving
Kershner, who directed, and that was the winning combo, in my opinion. That was the winning combo because you had a director that knew how to direct the actors on screen and really pull out all the emotion and what you needed to get out of that movie. And he also knew how to make that pace amazing. I mean, the pacing in that film is like near perfection for when it comes to where they're headed, where they're going, what's happening. There's no wasted time in that movie. It's all like good stuff, and it's all riveting and interesting, keeps you right along with them the entire time. And that's why I think Favreau is the Irving Kershner to George Lucas. And if they have that combo, like you were saying, Dan, that is the winning, and a fact checker, that is the winning combo right there.
They got all the pieces.
They got all the pieces.
It's just, can they execute? It's like a good sports team. They got the right people, but sometimes it doesn't translate.
It doesn't always, and also it's not 2020 anymore. We are past the pandemic now. We do not need to worry about it as much. And I think, but it definitely did change things, to your point, Dan. It definitely did change things. But I think now more than ever, we need to get back to making great works of art. You know, not
emotional works of art.
Yes, exactly.
Like it's okay to have emotion on screen, you know?
Oh, yeah, exactly. And have interesting plot points.
Right. Like
it's relatable.
Yeah. It's just, you can be together, and like the fan film that we're going to talk about later, there's actual like heart to it.
Yes.
Like it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be, and then you can lean on that, you know, in Star Wars. It doesn't have to be just all flish flash and, you know, emotionless action. You can have all of that drama built up, which is what made the MCU so brilliant as we got to that I Love You 3000.
Oh my goodness.
You know, and all of that drama between the family, and like, that's just how it works. You know, he didn't even have a kid until that last movie.
Oh yeah, right?
And they still pulled it off. Like Iron Man himself. But anyway, it's the stuff that makes movies rewatchable. Like when you have an emotional reaction to something, happy, sad, angry, but angry makes you want to talk about it more, actually.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So maybe that's their plan. They're like, we're just going to get them to talk about it for years.
Yeah, I don't know, but in the long run, it's
not rewatchable because it makes you mad. You're not going to rewatch it.
Right.
You're not going to talk about it as much. You're going to talk about it once and be like, and then the next time you think about it, you're going to be like, horrible.
Or you're just going to write it off. You're like, I can't take any more of this. Like, I'm done. That's what so many Star Wars fans are out there are like, I'm just done with Star Wars. And they don't care anymore, you know? And that's the dangerous thing about doing, you know, diminishing returns, keep doing, not listening to the fans, you know? So,
I don't know how you don't listen to the fans. I mean, they're going to start listening.
Well, how do you not? Yeah, they are. Rise of the fans. That's what we're calling 2024 right now. Rise of the fans. Yeah. So, and they're finally listening because it's hitting them in their pocketbooks. I think that's one of the biggest things we have now. We have said our piece online, our constructive criticism, and now we are also delivering on that by choosing not to pay and not to see these things and not to talk about them as much or whatever. More of the pocketbook though.
Yeah, well, and I think that's why they decided to. Maybe another reason why they decided to do the Mando season 4 on Disney Plus, because they still need money there, and in the theaters because they need money there. They just need money all over the place because they've bombed so bad.
Everything's bombed.
So they're trying to make those billions you talked about last week.
They have the potential to. Yeah, you remember that last week? This week I'm like Sith Dan tonight. I'm like, we're going dark mode.
Yeah,
that's okay. It's honest
okay.
Dan.
But KG in the chat said truth Danikin.
Truth Danikin.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. I saw Ryan jumped in there. What's up, Ryan?
Yeah. Brian jumped in. We had Scott. Let's see what
Blazerhawk.
Blazerhawk Darren had a controversial comment.
What was that?
Canceled or not canceled? I'm going to go see the Rey movie.
Right. Well,
maybe he's a Rey movie fan.
If it's canceled, though,
how is the question?
Oh, how is the question?
How is the question? Yeah. Blazerhawk Darren's going to get a private screening. No, I don't know. Maybe not.
I like how. Okay, KG also said, "Well, I still pay because Bluey." Yes, and that's Disney not made by anything to do with Disney or Lucasfilm. And that show, okay, I will say I've watched that show with my kids, and I ended up enjoying it, I think, more than my kids did, because that is actually a very intelligent take on so much. They do such a whoever writes Bluey needs to get involved with Star Wars because they can deliver emotional and amazing work if you give that to them, and it would probably be helpful. Honestly, yes. Whoever does Bluey, we need
Have
to get
them write
this going.
Star Wars.
We need them to write Star Wars, and they need to do it similar to how they do Bluey because it would blow everybody away.
Yeah, exactly.
No joke. I know it sounds silly, but Bluey is an amazing show. Okay. So thank you, KG, for saying that. That just sparked that in my mind. But to wrap up this segment or this part of the news with the Mandalorian and Grogu, I think basically all of us here, we're still excited for the Grogu and the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, just as if only for just having a movie of Star Wars in theaters and characters that we know and love in Star Wars. At least the best thing that's come out of Disney Star Wars. But the caveat to that is we just got to see how they actually deliver with those seasons. It could go really good or it could go really bad. It could also be meh. But I feel like they're going to be swinging for the fences with this one. And I just hope and pray that they can deliver because I want some good Star Wars in my life. And we need the Mandalorian and Grogu to deliver, man, to get us back on track.
Yeah, we do. Someone said earlier, but we need a shorter movie title.
Yeah, I really hope they change that movie title because that's not exact. Doesn't
I think
just
they said it's a working title. But
yeah. Hopefully
they'll come up with something cool. Maybe it's a 3-parter.
yeah. But do you guys agree with that? I think that's pretty much how we leave.
Yeah,
off
I think
the-
that's safe to say.
But
We
yeah.
want to see it.
And Favreau and Filoni need to be together on this. If we hear that Favreau is not involved in some sense, I'm going to be even more skeptical. But anything Disney Star Wars at this point, I'm still going in. I always forget the term that I always want to say. Cautiously optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. Everything Star Wars, I'm going in very cautiously, but I still try to go as positive as possible. But I call it out whenever I see it. If it's great, I will let everybody know and shout it from the rooftops. If it sucks, I will also let you know in the most positive way possible. So I think that ends that part. But let's transition now into, unless you guys had anything else to say, I don't want to make sure.
I don't know. The
cover
chat's
everybody.
having a good time. You guys doing good in the chat?
What's up, chat?
It's like a fresh of breath air.
Yeah, it is.
Seeing what they're doing in the chat?
Fresh of breath air.
Yes.
A breath of fresh air.
I never say it the right way, so I intentionally say it the wrong way.
Oh,
Yes.
got it. Okay.
Yes. Blazerhawk Darren says you need to play the Stay on Target clip throughout the live stream. I don't think do I have that little stinger in here? I should pull it in. I'll pull it in and we'll go and it'll do
Yeah.
the thing that I did.
That is pretty cool. That
Especially
would be
when we're
cool.
on target.
Yeah,
Especially when we're
just
on
like,
target. These guys are actually on target.
That'd be hilarious if like we had like a moving thing like off to the side. It's like the more we get off target, it like goes away from the target or it fades, and then we get back on target, comes in.
That would actually be high quality.
Who would be in? We'd have to have somebody in charge of that. But yeah, thanks for chatting with us, and let us know in the comments below and in the chat. What do you guys think about this? You guys excited about the Mando and Grogu movie with the I was going to say show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Movie, but then the show ahead of it with the movie coming out, and then Dave Filoni potentially doing the script for it, but still working with Favreau. What do you guys think? Still probably more news to drop on that. I'm sure we'll get more as time goes on. So these are just rumors again, and but still exciting stuff, interesting stuff. So let us know. All right, but we're going to jump into the Rey film. The more controversy within Lucasfilm and more rumors abound because who knows? But we're going to talk about it anyway. Is the Rey film canceled? So news dropped yesterday, or at least rumors dropped yesterday, and this was actually by World of Real was the name of the channel. I saw also I think Screen Rant or somebody else. Covered it as Screen Rant covered it. I think it was Bestman Bulletin. I'm sorry, Bestman Bulletin covered it, but they shot everybody over to World of Real, who actually came out with the information that what they were hearing as a credible source. Yeah, that their credible source was saying that the Rey film had been indefinitely delayed. So that was the rumor that they put out, that it was indefinitely delayed due to basically tension between the scriptwriter, Stephen Knight. Actually, let me stick in my notes here. I got a lot going on here, but it was delayed indefinitely. And that's why they did the Mandalorian Grogu movie was announced because it was delayed. They said a draft had been written, but Lucasfilm gave him Stephen Knight so many notes that he had to start from scratch.
crazy.
And there's also rumors going around that Stephen Knight might not even be staying on due to growing frustration with Lucasfilm, and and they're saying that he's put Star Wars on the back burner as he's now more focused on the screenplay for his Peaky Blinders movie that he's working on, and that's supposed to be going into production in the fall.
You know what's weird about this whole thing, though?
Yeah.
There's
a lot.
Yeah, there's so much, but like when you pay a writer, it's like paying a creative person, right? You're like, here's some ideas, go make me some art. So they spend like a month, you're paying them.
Or multiple months, yeah.
Or months to create some art. And they show you their first draft, and you might be in your head, you're like, oh my goodness, this is exactly opposite of what I had pictured.
Right.
This is not even close to what I was picturing. So then you're like, well, there's revisions, there's a process, we'll get it refined.
Yeah.
But sometimes as the artist, when you do something like that and you put that much heart into it, like, well, I think this is going to be amazing, and you run with it, and then somebody comes back and you're like, this is trash, you need to start over. I could see the pain there for Stephen Knight because he's got a difficult client he's trying to please on a movie that's nigh impossible to make because it's starting, it's not from scratch. It's from a lot of baggage behind this. Bilbo baggage behind this movie. And poor old Rey doesn't have a chance to see in the light of day. Doesn't matter who the writer is, unless the writer is KK herself.
Well, yeah.
And therefore, I don't blame Stephen Knight. I think he's seeing the writing on the wall. And maybe he just is taking the money and running.
Maybe.
I mean, taking his reputation and running, maybe.
And I actually think that's a lot of why so many people have dipped out of Star Wars. Because I think KK has her agenda, and she would much rather push her agenda. And these writers and these creatives are forced into this weird box that they know is garbage. But they're like, but the lure of Star Wars, Disney Star Wars, is like, if you can get, at least in the beginning, was, all right, if you can get attached to Disney Star Wars and create something epic in that sphere, you are a legend.
Set up for life.
Yeah, you are set up, you're going down in history. But the problem is they get in and they start working with KK, Lucasfilm, and all these crazies over there, I feel like, that they get involved and they're like, okay, I think I can make this great. But then they're met with all of this other baggage, and they're like, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
Right.
And they want me to write garbage.
Right.
And they want me to do garbage, and it's going to hurt my reputation more than it is to just bounce out.
Right. The fact is that he might have written something actually really, really good. Something that has heart, and that even with all the Bilbo baggage here, maybe even with all that, it would be amazing. Like on its own, you'd be like, oh my goodness, I hated the sequel trilogy. But that Rey movie, like, teared me up. I don't know if you know, like you might still watch it because, like, if it has heart, you know, you could put that in a separate box from the sequels. You know, like, why didn't that guy write the sequels? Yeah, I don't know. Right. But it's hard to know. But also complicating all of this, I'm sure you know, is the comments that came out recently by the director, which threw everything under the bus. Actually lit a fire under this thing, and then at the same time, or before or after. You know, this guy comes in and they're like, hey, I got my first script draft. We're going to go start filming in like 3 months. But again, how do you, like, 3 months away, 2 months away, you'd be like, scrap it, start over, done. This is garbage. I don't know how you have, and then why would you make the announcement? We're going in 3 months to film this movie. We're so excited about it. We got our actor, we got our director. And meanwhile, the script is like
non-existent,
just starting over. Like,
yeah.
It's a full rewrite. But we're really confident in the full rewrite.
Yeah.
And what a mess.
I think it's exact because I think it is a KK / Lucasfilm. They know what they want it to be, but they're hiring these writers to make it what they want it to be. But what they want it to be is garbage. And they can't get those things to meet up for them in some ways. So, but yeah, the dumbest thing about all of this is she's announced like what? Like 10 projects, KK?
Yeah.
I mean, all of them? There's Lucasfilm. They've announced like 10 projects.
Well, and the
they
funny-
haven't even like got off. They announced them and they haven't even got off the ground. It's like you'd think they would have learned. Like Dan was saying last week, shut up and make the movie, and then
Don't come out of your room until
Don't come out-
you're
yeah.
Don't come out of your room until
movie.
you've
Yeah.
got it done.
until you got it done.
And then
Don't
we'll
announce
start-
anything. I think if I was Lucasfilm and I made one blunder that was like, all right, we're coming out with this. But it's not shelved. It's not shelved.
It's not shelved. That's
was-
the title.
That's the title of
the
this
stream.
one. Yeah, it's not shelved. Sure, KK. Sure, but yeah, don't announce anything until it is like you're working on like post production or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
Like
Working on the
you're putting in the
marketing.
final touches of
Like
this
I don't.
film.
I hate to relate it to this, but it reminds me of like politicians, right?
Right.
They're like free everything for everybody forever, and like vote me in next week. You're
Right.
like, all right, dude, yeah, I'll vote you in.
Right,
I mean,
right.
they say these things, and then next thing you know, obviously it's never going to happen.
Right.
And then like you find out there's so many complicated things going on. I mean, that's kind of it feels just more like political, just jargon. We need to be in the news. And so it doesn't matter what it is, just say something, get people mad or get them happy or,
Right.
Get people mad at each other so that the conversation sparks, right?
That's
like
part
if we
of it.
want to do a video that people like gets a lot of traction, we just need to put a controversial topic in the headline and a picture of like KK's face, like with somebody like, coloring on her face or something. I don't know, just something controversial. Like, what the heck is that? I'm clicking on that. And
Right.
or we say something like, we love KK. She's the best.
Right.
You're going to get
That might be more controversial.
Yeah, you're going to get 6 million comments because people are going to like spam comment the channel.
idiots.
You guys.
have no idea.
without even watching
Yeah,
content.
but like, hey, we're like 10,000 subscribers later. We're like, anyway, what's next?
Yeah.
George Lucas sucks. you
Right.
know? And then you just go on.
Oh
and
my
you're like, wait a second, what are you doing?
Well, are you trying to light a storm right now, Dan?
Anybody want to
Wow.
chat in a comment? No,
Anybody want to- Yeah.
no, I'm just saying. This is what it feels like.
Like there's no, like the adage is like there's no such thing as bad PR. Is like if Lucasfilm was good at anything, it's that right now.
And they have to-
know how to get themselves in the news with
Like
everything.
they're tail spinning. So it's like, I don't know, let's try like sticking our arm out this way and see if we spin a different direction. Like they have no idea what they're
They
doing.
don't. That's the problem, and it's evident. That's the thing. Everybody can see it now. It's not like it's a question anymore.
Right.
Like oh, they're gonna get back on track. It's like no, literally everything they've done has been a floundering mess. They have no plan,
Right.
and they react to literally everything. Like the directors they announced, they were like. They made one great movie. KK wanted them on. Then the next movie or projects that they had that they were working on, whenever they announced they were coming out with Star Wars, that comes out and it's not as good as that previous one that was like amazing because they were trying to rush it and get to Star Wars. Then she just drops them. But I think it's also because they don't fit in with her ideas and her ideology and her agenda. And that's why they don't fit in. And then it's not a match because they don't want to go along with what she wants them to go along with.
Right.
And then they're like, all right, I'm out. You're like, I'm not, it's going to suck. Good luck.
Right. She's not a movie maker.
No.
She's a producer and she thinks that she can get this stuff done. But there's so much more to
But
it.
I think it's KK and her underlings. I actually think there's a lot more people that align with
sure.
how she thinks in Lucasfilm, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah, it's pretty thick in that space over there and where they're at and where they came from. But the fans, the problem is they just keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Right.
Again, if you're a Coca-Cola company and you keep putting out like Pepsi commercials, I mean, I'm like, what are you doing?
Or not even Pepsi. It'd be like you're Coca-Cola, but you're putting out ads for ice cream or something.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
not
yeah.
even that. Or like
It's not even the same product anymore. I'm like, who are you selling this to? Because
we're Coca-Cola. Buy our trucks.
yeah, and for them, yeah, because the majority of people are pretty easygoing. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's a fringe
More casual.
extreme this opinion and a fringe extreme this opinion. The most of the people are just pretty chill. We
Casual
want-
fans is what
casual
we love
fans,
casual
like-
fans.
like, and then maybe as a result they don't hear about all the behind the scenes drama. They just go see a movie.
Yeah.
But even in that sense, they haven't even been putting any movies out for those casual, non-observant fans to go watch. They've been doing the Disney Plus thing, which actually could have worked out great because everybody was stuck at home for like 2 years.
Right.
So that was the experiment. But hey, we're back outside unless it's negative 50 degrees like today.
Yeah, right.
But
Hoth.
you know what I'm saying? Like everywhere on the whole planet. Well, at least the United States.
It is. Did we just enter a second ice age?
We might have. I just saw Manny walk by.
That's another great movie.
We like Manny and
like Manny.
Sid Sloth.
And the little squirrel.
Yeah.
Oh,
A little squirrel, yeah. But
yeah.
you know, I'm just saying, like, we just want something palatable, and we don't want any drama, and we don't want any garbage thrown in our face before the movie comes out.
Right.
Like, just let me see the movie,
Yeah.
you know, and then we'll determine whether it's good and whether we can stomach it, and then we'll argue about whether we like this or that or the other. You know,
Right.
but stop announcing, de-announcing.
Yeah. Yeah. De-announcing 2024 Disney Plus or Disney Star Wars Lucasfilm. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Yeah. The other thing though is that so there were two writers. Damon Lindelof was he did Watchmen, and there was also Justin Britt Gibson, were two writers that have already left the Rey Film project. And that's not good. Also, right there in itself, you already had two writers attached, and they already bowed out. So Stephen Knight, they're saying, is on the rocks. But then, yeah. Oh, also, I want to say, Daisy Ridley also came out and said that she insinuated that the next film to be released would be her film. But obviously, that's not happening because the new the Grogu, they just announced Grogu and the Mandalorian. So there's some conflicting stuff there. But going back to that, also that film was rumored to be called The New Jedi Order. So that's also
the
rumored.
New
That's
Jedi Order.
Jumping.
You
on.
have to be a woman. I'm kidding.
Wow. Yeah. I mean,
I don't
Could
know.
have been.
I mean, that's fine. At least like say it out loud.
Yeah. I mean, they
true.
almost are. At this
I mean,
point,
that's
but-
if that's what it is. I don't care. At least then I know what I'm getting into
Yeah.
or not to.
or not getting into. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Zero
I don't care. The New Jedi Order, whatever. It's fine. I don't.
Right.
I don't care if it makes me. You know, if it has some emotion. You know. And
Yeah, it's good storytelling. That's the thing.
That's it.
It's
That's
just
it.
gotta have good storytelling.
do whatever you want, and I may hate it, I may love it, but don't be subterfuge.
The thing about, female leads and stuff like that, or any character lead, is if you have to put down another race or another sex or anything like that to elevate yourself, then I don't agree with that. That's the biggest problem I have, and that's what Star Wars has been pushing. Case in point for me, how they nerfed Ezra in Ahsoka. That was unforgivable in my opinion. They did that with Han. They did that with Luke, Finn, Poe. I mean, they did it with everybody.
Yeah.
They've done it with literally every male character that's come out in Star Wars, Disney Star Wars. They have to knock the males down to make the females better. Not that they have to make but the females always have to come out on top, type deal. And I don't have a problem with that. It's just, again, if you have to step on somebody to get there, that's my problem. And that's what they've been doing. Whereas we can all live in this space and we can all be great together and just have interesting storytelling. So that's always been my case when it comes to the agenda pushing with Disney, Lucasfilm, and stuff like that. But I feel bad for Daisy Ridley in some ways.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't ask for any of this. She's just a new actress. I didn't actually think, as far as her acting goes, I didn't think it was terrible by any means. I think she was just doing the best with what she was given.
I didn't think about that.
And really what kind of sucks for her is she hasn't had much that's after Star Wars.
Yeah.
And, I bet she was excited to get back into,
Well, she had that other Ryan Johnson movie, right? Was it Ryan Johnson that did the one on the train or something like that?
Oh, she was more of like a background character for that.
Was she in Knives Out, or was it
Knives
that other
Out.
one?
No,
No,
she
was
was
it-
not. She was not with Ryan Johnson.
It was Murder on Orient Express.
Yeah, the Orient Express. More of a background character.
Okay. And then was she in anything else?
There was another movie that she was coming out, and I think it did release, but they said it was so bad that it was like unreleasable. It came out in like film. It was like basically we're like it was like this planet where there was only men. And like, but the men's thoughts could be heard or something weird.
Yeah.
And then she shows up, and then there's like a woman on. I don't know. I never watched
Yeah.
it. I have no idea. It could have been good. Could have been great.
No, I see
Yeah.
the chat going. I 100% agree. Daisy Ridley
Yeah, I just feel
is
bad
phenomenal.
for her. Like,
Daisy Ridley is an amazing actress. I even think she's cool enough. Sorry, I'm switching the buttons with this thing. I don't know. My brain isn't working. She's a good enough actress. She didn't really get in the sequels based on what they gave her.
Yeah.
Like again,
I doubt she agreed with a lot of the takes. I think
just wants.
Just like Mark Hamill didn't agree with
Yeah.
it, but he still did well.
he had to do what he had to do.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about the fact that she's literally getting dragged through the mud.
She is in
like
some
she's
ways.
dealt with that.
She's
dealing
From
with
the beginning of her career.
And people were warned her before she took on that role in
That
Star
this
Wars.
could be
that
dangerous.
this
Yeah.
could
But
tank
she was
her,
like
and-
what 17 or
Probably, yeah,
maybe
very
just
young,
18
yeah.
when she started. So it was like her first role. Of course, you want to go for it because you get this mondo paycheck, which I think I heard the first movie was like actually not that much. It's a lot. It was like a lot for like an 18-year-old.
Right. I mean,
And then she made more in the second one. She
lead
made
in a
more
Star
in the
Wars
third
movie.
one.
yeah.
But I'm sure she still didn't make the money that she should have because they were able to work that out because she was so
Right.
new.
right.
And
yeah.
then they bring her back up and then only to drag her through the mud again. I'm
Yeah.
like, and this is why I didn't, the guy that played Kylo say like, I'll never do a Star Wars movie
Adam
again.
Driver's like straight up no. Like he
Yeah, it's
said
like-
that he's like not coming back. Because the funny thing is, like not too long ago, Finn, the guy who played Finn, oh shoot, I just lost his name. Of course, John
Boyega.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I just forget everything live. But he like a little while back was like, no, I'm never returning to Star Wars. They did me dirty, with the whole poster thing in China and all like that, what they did to my character and all
that
that
was
stuff. And
messed
he was
up,
like the
yeah.
biggest Star
Yeah.
Wars fan out of everybody.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden he's kind of taken a 180 in recent months and been like, yeah, I might come back because they want him to come back for the Rey movie is what it was, and they sweetened the pot because I don't think he's done as much, and I think he was fantastic.
He's
and if
done
they
some
wouldn't,
movies,
he's
yeah.
done some, but I don't, not to like
They've
the
tried
degree
to-
I feel like he
yeah.
deserves as an actor. I actually do think he deserves as acting wise. He's actually a great actor, I think, but. And they should have made him a flippin' Jedi, and that they
know.
did so wrong with that. Everybody,
How
knows
did they
it.
miss that?
was
How did they
terrible.
miss that?
No, it's who missed it? It was KK and those agenda pushing idiots that wanted men to not do anything good or great. only Daisy Ridley could do it. So they were all had to be playing.
That's
second
true
fiddle.
because even Poe by the end was kind of like just a side character.
Yeah.
Comparatively, and he started off the whole movie sequel. Anyway, we're on the sequel train, but
Yeah, we are.
this
But
is
it
what
kind
we're
of ties in with
talking
Rey.
about the Rey movie because that all is the sequels. She's the lead sequel character. She is Rey Skywalker, Palpatine, the
Right.
third or whatever she is.
Yeah, and that's this movie, The New Jedi Order, was rumored to be coming out May 22nd, 2026. But that's, we believe, or people, it was rumored that now that's where the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is going to take place. And then the Rey movie, coming to new rumors that were like dropped late last night, kind of today, combo. A lot of people are saying online that now it's contradicting rumors that it's not been shelved, or it's not been shelved. It's not been delayed indefinitely. It's just been delayed to the second slot because they're having so many issues. And I think actually going back to your point, Dan, in some ways with Adam Driver, I think he's actually a really big part of why, because I think they were counting on him with some of the script. Because if you look at some of these scripts here, one of the biggest things was apparently one of the, again, rumor. It's
Wait,
all
did they
rumor.
send you a script?
They didn't send me any script.
They
no.
sent Dustin a script, everybody.
Dude, if they did, that would be amazing. But
He's
no,
reading it.
Page 37.
You would be
No.
sued so fast.
Oh my goodness, yes. No,
No,
I
he'd
do
just
not
be
have a script.
scooping.
I'm scooping.
His real name is not Dustin.
I'm scooping my Coca-Cola ice cream.
In your truck.
And your Pepsi commercial.
Pepsi Coca-Cola truck. Wow.
Here, I got it. I got
Where
it.
did
I
we
got
go?
it. Hold on. Yes.
Back on target. And you just woke everybody up out there.
Yeah, I probably did. Just in case you thought we weren't staying on target.
We're getting back to on target right
always
now.
are.
Take that.
Take that. Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but so what came out though was that this guy Jermaine Lucier, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Anyway, tweeted and put online. This is where a lot of people are getting it from. He's the senior reporter covering entertainment for Gizmodo and IO9, which I guess has gotten some stuff right in the past. But he stated that the movie has not been delayed indefinitely, merely that it was delayed due to the Mandalorian Grogu movie. He's saying that that they just wanted to push that movie forward, but even how he's saying this still kind of works with the fact that they screwed up, and probably because of Charmin obeying Shinoy, like you were saying, Dan, is what really did him in a lot of ways, and that's why the PR, it all kind of ties together. You know, it's all rumor again, but when you you're looking at things, you're like, what makes sense here? That makes the most amount of sense. Anyway, he said they pushed it back because of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I don't think that's the case, but he also says it's filmmaking 101 that the writer does I'm paraphrasing a lot of this. I'm not directly quoting him, by the way. You can check out his own stuff online. But he said that the writer, it's movie making 101, that the writer does a draft and then the studio gives him notes on and on until the film is ready. It's ready to film. He said progressing as normal. You know, I think he might be a little bit more with Disney in certain ways, or Lucasfilm, but I'm not sure. But I think it did come out some other places that it hadn't been completely delayed indefinitely. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, it's conflicting stuff. There's a lot of rumors. There's probably something dropped tonight while we were doing this that we don't even know about, that somebody's saying something. There's no official word from Lucasfilm or anybody working on the Rey movie, the New Jedi Order movie or whatever, that this is the case or anything like that. This is all rumor. But yeah, what does everybody else think? I saw you threw up there in the poll. Do you think the Rey movie's happening? Do you think it's not happening? What's your take? What's our take here on it? I don't know. With all the things going on, I wouldn't be surprised if they completely canceled this. And that's what we were saying from the beginning. And that's whenever that rumor dropped yesterday, everybody jumped on the bandwagon because it makes perfect sense. This was a kind of doomed from the get-go, in my opinion, because the sequel trilogy was diminishing returns. Rey was, again, Daisy Ridley, great actress. Rey character, not interesting. No character arc. There was no character arc there, and that's the problem. So you want to start off the whole new thing with Rey Palpatine starting a new Jedi Order. I mean, sorry, but I don't think very many people are interested in that. And honestly, it's a complete wrong move. I think why they are doing it or wanting to do it was because I think they're trying to salvage the sequel trilogy by trying to make a actual good sequel trilogy, another sequel to their sequels that might retroactively make the sequels slightly better if they can pull it off and save some of their IP and all their characters that they invested a crap ton of money into, which would even be Galaxy's Edge. They have a lot of characters in Galaxy's Edge. They also had that the doomed and failed project that was the Halcyon or whatever, the Star Cruise.
Star Cruise,
that failed miserably. And I think a big part of that too was because it was a money grab and they wanted way too much, but it was also set in the sequel trilogy. And pretty much anything that's been set in the sequel trilogy has not done well. So they're trying to save themselves there, but it's just, again, I don't even think they would make probably $300,000 to $400,000 or $1 million when it comes to the Rey film as is. I mean, maybe if they had a good story and word of mouth and just Star Wars being back in theaters, maybe. But I don't know of anybody who's really that excited about a Rey Star Wars movie. There might be. Let me know. Let me know if you guys would really want to see it. Anyway, yeah. So it's just conflicting rumors. Lots of things going on. Who knows?
It's about par for the course for Star Wars / Disney right now.
Lucasfilm. Yeah.
But
yeah, what was the chat saying, or what did you say, Dan? Do you think it's going to happen? Do you not think it's going to happen?
It's not going to happen.
Okay.
I said that a week ago or
you
two.
Did. You said that. You've been saying that for a long time.
It ain't going to happen. It ain't. I don't know why I'm singing, but it ain't going to happen.
He's just taunting.
Singing, yeah. No, I mean, it's just, not that I don't want it to happen. I just don't want it to happen. It's not going to happen. So take it and leave it and never talk about it again until you're done with something.
At least, yeah.
It's like Hunter. Where's my Hunter at? No, I'm kidding. Where's my sports references? Like, It's like you're the hot receiver. This is football season. And like, I throw you the ball because you catch it every time and you run really fast and you get a bunch of yards. That's what you need in football. Okay. That's the Mandalorian right now.
Right.
Okay. You're like, but way over here is this like really slow person that never catches the ball and hates what he does and has been
Hates the fans.
hates the fans, and has been doing terrible for the last 10 games.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, here goes the Mandalorian. He's running by. Let's go get him the ball. Come on, he'll give us a touchdown. Like, no. We gotta like hand it off to this person over here.
Yeah, maybe if you get the really fast guy to hand it off to the really slow.
It's like, what? Like, how is this business? This isn't business. This is toying around with ideals and like funny theories, but like it's real life. And the Star Wars fans are some of the nerdiest fans you'll ever see, other than like Lord of the Rings fans, which you can't make those people mad. But at least Lord of the Rings has like 45 trillion pages to read for the rest of their lives. I mean, so do Star Wars fans.
Right.
But like,
the expanded universe, way better.
Exactly. But man, it's just crazy because Star Wars has so much potential, unbelievable amount of potential.
Yeah.
And they just keep fumbling the ball right at the end zone and not giving it to the guy who can take us to the promised land. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
Right.
It's because the coach doesn't know what the heck she's doing. And
Yeah, it's a bad coach.
it's a bad coach. And this is where we're at. So,
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely agree with you there. What about you, fact checker? You think it's happening? You don't think it's happening?
No, I don't think it's. Well, okay, I'll caveat that.
Oh,
Dang
hot
it.
takes.
I know I don't mean to, but I don't think it's happening anytime soon. I think there's potential for it to eventually happen just because of all that Star Wars has done in Galaxy's Edge and the different theme parks and stuff. But years down the road. So shelved definitely for now.
Yeah, it's definitely shelved.
And I'm not sad about it.
I mean, I won't believe that movie's coming out until Disney or Lucas, or until it's actually coming out. Until I am watching it in theaters, will I believe that movie is coming out at this point? Nor do I necessarily want to see it, unless it's really good. Maybe it could surprise us. But anyway, all right. Well, I think that kind of concludes that. What's the poll saying? I want to hear from the poll. What's the chat thinking? Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen?
Well, I asked, is the Rey film actually canceled? And 62% said yes.
It is canceled.
They
Wow.
think it is
it's
canceled.
official.
Yep.
Canceled right here.
It's canceled. You heard it here first. No.
Ray!
That was like, I love how you put that. That was
good.
awesome.
Poor John Boyega.
Poor John Boyega, man.
He was so worried about Ray.
He was.
And like nobody can yell.
So
at
was
Ray like
everybody
Ray.
else because we all knew it was terrible.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
KG
You're destroying Star Wars.
KG got it. Yes.
Tamerkin said the chat has spoken.
The chat has spoken.
That's
Which I
right.
did.
True.
I know we've talked about this. I'm going off script a little bit here, but wouldn't it have been so much better if Rey was a Kenobi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everybody was speculating that for a very
First of
long
all,
time.
she should have been Han Solo's kid, and they should have been twins. Then
Yes,
you're
they-
like,
duh.
That would've
Yes, they
been
should
nice
have followed
too,
that
for
story,
sure.
which
That's
is in the
what
expanded
happened.
universe.
that's what happened. And then she could have been Kenobi's granddaughter or some variation there. And then she could have been 20 other people's,
Yeah.
Well, somehow Luke's relation even. You're like, oh, well, then she's
Right.
Luke's kid or grandkid or
Right.
some relation. And then you're like, okay, maybe I would take Snoke's granddaughter, maybe, And then you're like,
Palps.
and then you're like, whoa, maybe she's like related
least
to Tarkin, maybe. Like,
Actually, that would fit.
yeah. And then you're like, Palpatine, though?
Yeah.
It's just funny.
It was the worst. It's like they, yeah, we could go off on this forever. We probably shouldn't. But the only reason I say that is because Daisy really, like not too long ago, actually mentioned that originally it was talked about that she was a Kenobi. So that's why I bring it up. And I think we would have liked that a lot more. Like, what if it was like Satine's like Obi-Wan and Satine's
Exactly.
kid? Like that would be so
That
amazing.
would work amazingly.
Anyway, all right, that was just a side little thing. We're gonna keep moving on because we got one last bit of news, and then we're gonna jump into some other stuff. So Star Wars is rumored to be coming out with a What If series, and kind of like the What If series that was done for Marvel, and that actually had some interesting episodes and some success. Now it was animated, which I think Star Wars is obviously already perfect for animation, and a What If series could be absolutely epic, and it could be a way to give fans what they actually want to see. Now, would they actually do that? I have no idea. I doubt it, but it's a possibility. The interesting thing about this though too is that in 2001. Dark Horse Comics launched the Star Wars Infinities series. They touched on a lot of different things, but basically like main events, like if they were missed or something happened in the butterfly effect. But I mean, what fan has not thought of a different scenario in Star Wars? Star Wars is probably one of the most ripe properties to have a what if series and to think about all the different scenarios. I mean, there are, even Bismo did a what if not too long ago. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's fantastic.
Well, he just did one a week ago.
Yeah, a week ago.
And then he's done a bunch more before.
He's done
that.
a ton.
Yeah.
I mean, there are channels completely dedicated to what ifs.
Well, we've
in
talked
Star
with
Wars.
Pen Patrol,
Pen
and
Patrol.
Icy just mentioned him, and
For sure.
there are so
Killer
many.
Channel.
There are infinite what ifs.
Yeah. Yep. And that's why they called it Star Wars Infinities, because there are infinity ways to do things. Star Wars. I can speak. But yeah, it's very, even Star Wars Theory too, one of the biggest Star Wars YouTubes out there. He's basically started off his channel with what ifs.
theories.
With Star Wars theories. Yeah. Makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely ripe for it. So, what do you guys think of this? You guys like this idea? Do you think they should do it?
Yes.
Okay, done.
I think Nick's been saying it since he watched
it's really
Marvel. What Ifs.
disappointing that he's not here with us.
You know
tonight.
what they should do? A Star Wars what if.
Yeah, he would
I'm
be
pretending to be
screaming.
Nick.
There you go.
Pretend to be Nick.
Croissant.
Croissant. Croissant. That was
No, I'm
so
kidding.
funny. Oh my goodness,
It was really.
dying laughing.
I never died so hard.
Never died so hard.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, it what ifs it sounds like a lot of fun because it's the perfect playground.
It is.
There's not too much sand. There's just the right amount of wood chips, and there's plenty of toys everywhere.
You're mixing all. There's some rubber, like
Yeah,
the
give me some
floor
rubber.
ones.
Give me some sand. Give me some chips and a lot of slides.
What other playground equipment are we missing? Come on.
I don't know, man, but playground safety equipment. That's what that is.
Safety.
That's the
safety first here.
That's right. So if you're gonna do a what ifs, you got all the right ingredients to make the perfect soup, and this could be a lot of fun. That's what every fan film is. That's why we like fan films, because it's just like a what if. A lot of them.
And that's what, it's what kept Star Wars alive, is the fans basically doing what ifs.
And then they can't go wrong. I mean, then what they could do is like pretend that it happened in the what if, only to then come around and be like, the fans loved this theory.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, maybe we could lean into that. And not that they will, but again, this is how you get a lot of buzz going. Because that's, like what's the animated series that was given
Tales?
to the anime? Yeah, no, Tales, but the anime Visions. Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like fan films.
Right,
Not
it's kinda
really
like that.
what if, but what if Star Wars existed in kind of an anime style, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely ripe for the picking. And it's kind of what Marvel did, though, in some ways. If you think about it, they just cherry picked from like some of the most beloved by fans stories in the comics and some of the best ones. And in some ways, I mean, the comics for Marvel and stuff like that, they're kind of, it's legit stuff, but it's also like fan made stuff still, because you have so many different writers for comic books. You have so many different plot lines, stories and stuff like that, but they could pick and choose what was popular and they went with it. And that's what Star Wars has totally flopped on and failed on, is because they didn't take anything that was already popular in the expanded universe of Star Wars, because there is a lot of it, or even fan theories and stuff like that. I mean, there's a million of them out there. And yeah, there are some really, really popular ones that are absolutely epic. And if you give the fans a bone with that, I mean, you're going to get tons of fans watching. So if you did that with What If, you might actually get some Star Wars fans back. And it also might show you what direction you need to be taking Star Wars in. It could work in multiple different ways, because you could give the fans what they want to see, first of all, and you could experiment with other different ways to be like, all right, which one works here, and which one should we maybe continue down this rabbit hole and might even broaden our horizons with Star Wars and give us something totally new that we never knew we needed or wanted, but could even branch out to be a new trilogy, a new this, a new that. I mean, I think it's a great way to get people excited about Star Wars again and give people what they want to see in Star Wars. Now they don't necessarily have to. So the thing that people always get like bent out of shape for and with is like true canon versus like
The what if canon.
the what if canon. So I'd say the best way to do it with what if series would be none of it's canon. The only canon is like what's obviously in the shows and the films. I mean, films is really where it's at.
Because then it gives them flexibility to choose later on what could be canon.
Right. And they could tie it in.
And it's something fresh, a fresh Star Wars thing.
Right. And that's what people need, you know. Even in this what if series, they could do the Old Republic. They could take some stories that are also very, very beloved and just put those in the what if category.
What if they took Rey and they made her a Palpatine?
They just make the sequel trilogy a what if, and then they're like, that's just a what if trilogy.
wow.
And this is the true canon. Yes, I agree with you, Dan. That's exactly what
You're
they
calling
should
it
do.
now.
They're like,
Heir to
what
the
if,
Empire. Here we
what
come,
if
baby.
somebody wrote a horrible sequel trilogy that made Luke like mad at the world and hated everything that he stood up for, and Luke, Han died suddenly, and Leia flew back, and I don't know.
Yeah.
What if they did the Thrawn trilogy, Dustin?
Yes.
Is this so? By the way, is this live action or animated?
It's animated. That's what the rumors are. Animation.
Is that easier? It's easier in the sense that you don't have to have like all these people, but that's a lot of work. However, it's probably going to be my favorite thing that they've ever done
if they do it right.
I like their animation.
Yeah,
and I like the possibilities to play in that sandbox. Anakin likes his sandbox.
Anakin likes his sand. He likes to be scorched by the twin suns of Tatooine.
That's very true. I can do that very well. It's hard when it's -50 out, but
it is.
Occasionally we get the north winds a blowing on Tatooine.
Right. My hands are still cold from being outside earlier.
I probably half frostbitten. Maybe we should go to the emergency
Maybe I
room.
should, but no, we got a show to do, baby.
What color are they?
You know, blue.
Oh, okay. That's
Purple
a good color.
in some areas. No,
Dustin, I told you to stop playing with those blue
those
crayons.
wampas.
Stop drinking all that.
Oh,
blue
hi,
milk.
Manny.
Oh, hi, Manny. That's a wampa, Dan.
Oh, no. I thought he was my friend. I saw all the movies.
Wampa Dan. I like that. Wampa Dan.
Wampa Dan.
Wampa Dan.
I do like Wampas just because of that video game. That's it.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I don't like them, but
Exactly. All right. Yeah. So the what if series could be great if they don't totally like go with agenda driven stuff and they make it all about like females. Again, nothing against females, but like, come on, let's give us some more interesting stuff in Star Wars. There's so many different avenues we could take. At least just make them good stories. I think it could be amazing. I don't trust Lucasfilm, Disney at this point, but I will go in cautiously optimistic and hopeful that they will deliver something interesting. At least it will get us, as long as it gets us thinking about Star Wars in a different way.
yeah.
And gets our creativity going in Star Wars to be like, whoa, that's a crazy idea I never thought of. Like, yeah, I want to follow this. Let's see where this goes. And that was the fun thing of the Marvel's What If series, was it really kind of led you. And it worked so well with them because they got the multiverse that they kind of delved into.
Right.
And they just went into like different multiverses to do all these different things, which is a little bit more tricky in Star Wars. But just don't make it canon, and then you can have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Don't tie yourself up too much to it. So I don't know. We excited? You guys excited for this? Mega excited.
Mega.
If it turns out to be anything like Tales of the Jedi too, but that's actually canon stuff. So this would be non-canon.
Right.
But
This is the perfect possibility playground.
yeah.
PPP.
Oh boy.
It is. I'm digging it. We're going for it. It's
You're very safety oriented tonight, Dan.
oh yeah, isn't that
He's like Sith Dan, but safety Sith Dan.
spent a lot of time in a hospital. We'll be,
yeah. There's been a lot of things going on in our world
I'm
of
kidding.
Staying Target, but
no, it's exciting. It's going to be good, and because it's animation,
better be good.
and because it better be good. It better be good.
And
Stop telling me until you do it.
If I could come take over, if me and Hannah could just walk in there and take over Lucasfilm, we would get that place back on track because I'd probably fire most every. No, I'm just joking. I wouldn't fire everybody, but we would get them right back in line with what they need to do.
Right, but what if it's a good start in the right direction?
It is.
Because it's a safe place to experiment and get back to what Star Wars is. Just like Tales, takes you into that world. And
yeah.
So,
but they touched up. The Tales was like they explained things that I never knew we wanted explained in like a short format, but touched upon some serious things that were like heavy. And it was like, whoa, you just blew me away. Like it was a complete opposite of like Ahsoka. Like Ahsoka took like 8 episodes to deliver. It's not very much. And then like Tales was like 1 episode delivered on like a huge moment in Star Wars. You're like, what the crap? Seriously? But yeah, anyway. That was like all meat. That was the nice thing about Tales. It was like pretty much all meat other than like the first episode, I feel like, and delivered in a very interesting way. So if they do that with What If, yes. Yes, please. Yum, yum, yum. Give me more.
More protein, less carbs.
Yes, exactly. Yes, you got it, Danikin. All right. Well, I think that wraps up the news segment of the show tonight.
A lot of news.
There was a lot of news, okay? So we got lots to get to still. Wow.
When's the question and answer time?
We're going to be getting to that. We got one more. Well, actually, we have 2 more segments.
I know. I think maybe we should jump to it.
Just jump to it now,
Yeah.
but we might have more at the end.
Q&As? No, so far we're pretty locked in. I mean,
what else you got? What else you got?
questions.
I should know this, but go ahead.
It's good. Yeah, no, we just had 2 other things we wanted to do, but you know what? Let's just cut some of it.
I think
let's go straight.
The one big one.
Everybody in the chat's having a good time. George Lucas, Hannah's president. Yep, Hannah's going to be president one day of Lucasfilm.
Right.
Take it to the bank after Drowning comes out.
Sorry.
I think they're arguing with
having
each
an
other.
on-screen, off-screen.
Communication.
Oh my
silence.
goodness.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Yep, all right,
I know
let's-
one of the things we're going to talk about because that's high quality.
And that's what the fact checker was.
That's what I was recommending. Maybe.
Don't worry, it's a live show. Things
Yeah.
change all the time. You know what? And time changes. We had a lot of news to cover tonight. We're down a couple dudes. We have gained
Dirt
Vaser,
Vaser.
and also Vades is here, which is kind of funny. It's Dirt Vaser.
You're surrounded.
I'm surrounded by Vaders.
Yeah, Skylark said earlier, Vader looks very thoughtful.
He's very thoughtful, always about everything.
But the fans know how to deliver. Is this where you're going, Dustin?
Actually, no. I was going to,
but the fans can deliver.
They definitely
It's a very
can.
true statement.
And
It's a very true statement.
it just is the way it's done because we don't get bogged down in that corporate crap.
Right, exactly.
We just feel what's right,
Yeah,
and we
no, exactly.
actually
So-
care about it.
I think we should actually go into this. So let's jump into it right now, okay?
Okay.
Unless fact checker, if you're gonna veto this one more time, what?
No, we don't
You
have
do
to.
you.
I think we're going into
Let's Brightstar.
yes.
All right, we're gonna jump into
Go for
Brightstar, and then after that, we did have a game we were gonna get into, but I think we're gonna save the game for next week. And
Gotta get to those Q&As.
we're gonna get because we're gonna get to Q&As right after
There's some good
this
ones.
last segment
Yes.
here. Okay, so the last segment here, stay with us, okay? Is Rise of the Fans. That's what we're calling it, Rise of the Fans. And one fan film that really stood out to us recently. It was a lot of fun, and it really talking about all this news and all these missed opportunities, and Disney Lucasfilm not delivering on Star Wars. We're just turning it right around, and we're going for the fans. Look to the fans. When Disney and Star Wars and Lucasfilm are not delivering on Star Wars, you always look to the fans because the fans are going to deliver. And one of those things that delivered for us recently is a fan film called Brightstar. A few weeks ago, we did the fan re-edit in some ways of Battle of the Heroes, which was the Clone Wars style animation of Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting on Mustafar. And this week,
as well as Drowning.
Drowning.
The
Yes.
trailer.
Oh yeah, of course. How could we would be remiss without saying that.
Yes.
Definitely go over to Roll the Tape Studios, subscribe to their channel.
Yeah.
They are always do amazing work. Hannah, Roll, and Night Sky killing it over there, and we're super excited.
And they're
for
dropping teasers here and there.
And they're dropping those teasers.
Keep an eye out.
just a little tease. So go over there and check out all the teases they got for you. It's gonna be epic, and I cannot wait to see their fan film because that is gonna blow everybody out of the water. I think, definitely. But then This week though, we're reviewing a fan film called Brightstar. If you guys haven't seen it, we'll link it here, and we'll let you guys go check it out for yourselves. I think that this delivers Star Wars in a better than anything Disney Star Wars has come out with. There are multiple reasons for it. But yeah, Dan, if you want to, I was going to say, if you want to pull up.
I got it up. I got it up. We're just going to kind of thumb through it. I'm not going to take credit for it.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is made by Archangel Epics is the channel. And they have an opening crawl. I think, Dan, you did even some more research in the background of they hired it's a fan film.
It's a fan film professionally curated.
Yes.
And these are professionals that were involved in doing this. As you can see in this opening CG shot.
Right.
I mean, it's good stuff. Look at that ship fly by. Boom, there he goes, all the way to the planet.
Like just that second, couldn't you? Or?
I don't know, but CG, that you don't mess around. There's some more CG.
The
so they
side
came in,
swipes.
They got the side swipes. They got the transitions.
They had a dark opening, which it sets the tone in a way that gives it weight.
Exactly. You got really, really good looking lightsabers.
Yeah, it is. As for people who have spent too much time rotoscoping lightsabers, they did a really good job.
Yeah, it's a bold, fan film, and then it transitions into what I think makes this fan film so good.
Yes. Oh yes.
And that is there's a young girl. And the fact that okay, it's fine, right? We see this. This is Star Wars. Let me finish.
Sorry, yeah.
And then right next to the young girl is her dad.
Yes.
Okay. And
Family.
That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It starts off with family right out of the gate, and you know that it's a father and a daughter, and the relationship between the two of them really sets up the beginning of this, and actually sets up the entire thing. And I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah,
but
we'll do our best not to spoil it. But,
I'm not going to show you the ending, but this guy is a legit actor.
Yeah, he is a fantastic. The daughter did a great job acting.
Yeah.
The dad did a great job acting. And the thing I really like about it is they use like realistic people in a lot of ways. When you get like Hollywood and stuff like that, everything's polished. Everything's like over the top with everything.
Right.
And I like and usually it's like younger a lot of the time. They like to go younger with everything.
Right.
Obviously the daughter's younger, but the dad is a little bit older. Not old by any means. Not old by any means. But they even talk about it during the film. But it's realistic. It feels real. He feels like it's a lived-in character. This character has gone through some stuff. He's trying to be the best father he can be in a galaxy that's crazy right now, and he's trying to teach it. But there's still moments of levity in there. Husband and wife. Traditional family in Star Wars. Are you kidding me?
And she's a strong character as a wife.
That's like not.
Oh no, buffer. We're buffering.
We got
back up.
We got buffered. Okay, hold on.
Highway to the buffer zone.
Are you sure?
Yeah, people are commenting that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
We love the 2-hour buffer.
Okay,
We're back.
Maybe it's just YouTube.
Maybe.
All right, let us know when
no,
we're
it's
back
around
in
the same
chat.
time. I mean, it's the correct time. It just didn't give me the report. So, okay.
Highway to the
But look at that.
buffer
Look at that. She's a strong woman, and she is smacking him in the head. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
no, I mean, but she's, a strong wife with her husband, and they're having a good conversation. I mean, the story here is what I like about this part. There's a lot of setup. You get the flashy lightsaber at the very beginning after the opening crawl, but you're setting the tone. Like, this is Star Wars right here. You get a good lightsaber introduction. So there's some action to hook you. You're like, oh, they're not messing around.
And dark. They went dark at the beginning, too.
Then they follow it for like 10 minutes. I think it's like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost 10 minutes here. 8 minutes. There's some conversation.
They give you interesting exposition, and they're giving you... It's taking its time, but it's not boring in any means. You're interested in everything they're saying. The dialogue is executed well, and they're setting up these characters. It's character setup to get attached, and you get attached to these characters very quickly.
Yes, exactly. Are we still buffering?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, a librarian said all good.
All good? Okay, we're all good. Sorry, this is a live show, so forgive us for the buffer zone.
But yeah, it's
off, baby.
It's true. But no, it takes you into the family for a long time. That's what I appreciated about this, it stays into this, showing you the dynamic so that when things change and get tense, you appreciate the emotional pull of what you got to that point. Does that make sense? Like they don't just give you behind, they set it up. They set it up well.
They do.
In a short 20 minutes. Better than other films have done. Better than Ahsoka did at certain points.
Right.
And so I appreciate that.
Yeah, and if we could show you the film right now, we would, but obviously we don't want
We want you to go watch it.
We want you to go watch it and give it all
got
the
a lot of,
credit it
almost
deserves.
500,000 views, and it's doing really, really well. And it has won Best Fan Film London, Berlin, Tokyo, Fantasia Audience Award. So it's not just loved by us and enjoyed by us. It is actually clearly solid to actual people that know what they're doing in the movie industry and in, you know what I mean, in
right.
film festivals. So don't just listen to us, listen to the good people.
Right,
But it's
exactly.
solid.
Well, yeah, and so for me in this, it was one of the biggest things that I was saying earlier,
Yeah.
and I'm saying now is the fact that it's family, and
Yep.
one of the big key elements of Star Wars is the fact that that it is family. I mean, Star Wars is based on family in a lot of ways. That's one of the biggest things of Star Wars. A lot of people overlook that, but that's what it is. And they do such a good job handling the family in it. And what do you know? It's a nuclear family.
Right.
Holy cow,
It is
that's
so
edgy
rare
nowadays.
to see-
Isn't it crazy that that's
Yeah.
edgy
Right.
in some ways?
Look, there's
sad.
a daughter,
Ridiculous.
a mom, and a dad, and it's very bizarre, even though that is for thousands of years how the world has moved.
Yes.
And then to be shown in a film like this, it doesn't, it's just common sense, right? This is the Star Wars fans. This is why it feels like Star Wars, because the things we got lately have nothing to do with this.
Right. And I think it's more relatable. Like almost everybody can relate to this being, and that's what I'm saying with how it feels real. It's not forced. It's not some unnatural thing. I think it harkens even into like deeper into our souls here, that we can relate with these characters because it is about family, and a family that most of us have grown up in and been with. I did want to say real fast though, if you do go over to their channel and watch this fan film, definitely leave a comment and tell them that Stay on Target sent you. We greatly appreciate it if you do. But yeah, so they handle family so well. It's a lived-in galaxy. The dad's a little bit older, but not old. He's just a little bit older. He's seen some stuff, which sets up, which is interesting because that's also how George Lucas does a lot of his stuff. He wants to start the story off already progressing. So he doesn't want to mess around with like setting up everything too much. He wants to get you right into the action. I think they did a great job of that. They honored Star Wars and what's come before. They do a fantastic job with the lightsabers, the rotoscoping, the dialogue, setting up a cohesive story better than anything Disney Lucasfilm have done.
Yeah.
It's a perfect, this fan film to me is next to perfect reason for Rise of the Fans. A perfect example of Rise of
This
the
is
Fans.
a premium example, in fact.
Premium.
Premium, because it's got all the ingredients, like made by fans, also by professionals, but the people that are writing it aren't corporate. You know what I mean? They actually care about the product, and they know the feeling of what Star Wars feels like.
Right.
So when you watch it, you get the same action, you get the same feel for it, and that's what I appreciated about it. And the pacing, it's got all of the ingredients that you want to set up a good story. Because if you set up a good story, you will forgive maybe a weak acting moment or a weak
'Cause
CG.
it still is a fan film,
Right.
and it's real and it's raw, and they I don't know how much money they put into this. You know
Put
what I
in
mean?
some money.
I'm sure they put in some, but it's not like millions and millions of dollars though that
No.
like Disney Lucasfilm throws at everything. You
No,
know?
it's just,
and it's
right.
and that's what and even with George, it's always the story is what holds true because effects change over time. But you can, like you were saying, Dan, if you can forgive the effects and even minor things as long as the story is good. And this is a perfect example of a good story. I didn't mean to jump on. I know you had more. If you had more to say there, Dan.
No, there's layers to this story.
There are many layers.
There's lore. They create lore in just like
Yep.
3 minutes.
Yep.
That you could be like, well, how does that work? Now, Bismo said, "When is your next
I
fan
was gonna
film
say
stand
it's not in
target?"
the Q&A, so we can't answer it.
We're on the Q&A.
Not in the Q&A, yeah.
But basically, it reminded
Throwing
me.
shade at Bismo who gave us the idea to do this
I know,
in the
I'm
first
sorry.
place. Wow.
Didn't mean to. It just came out.
You like being spicy towards Bismo. We found that out last week's
that's for
stream
sure.
with Bismo, too.
No, it was a legitimate question. Don't get off target.
It was a great, yeah, sorry. All right. Staying
you
on
guys did
target.
good on that show.
Thanks.
It was a good
It was
show.
fun. Go check it out. Anyway,
No,
back to this.
I'm just saying it answers some lore, and it actually reminded me a little bit of our fan film
It did.
for
yes.
one particular reason. I was
Yes.
like, ooh, that's like very, very similar. Like the universes could almost be the same.
Yeah. mhm.
It's interesting, and it made me think. But you know, the way that when you think Star Wars, like fans love to dig into the minutia, and it's just that's what's so fun about Star Wars. So then you get the family feeling, and then you get the action, and then of course the tension rises as they meet these villains that they set up. They set up through conversation. So when the villains show up,
And
you're
they had
like,
a female villain, that's also edgy.
you're not allowed to do that, Dustin.
You're not.
Are
no.
you? I mean,
And not in Disney, Star Wars, Lucasfilm.
right?
And if it's a female villain, she has to win
Yes.
or be justified in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's but even she's got some complication to her, you know.
Yeah, which I enjoy, and there's character depth to her as well.
Right, and
in
they
this.
had legit conversation. I don't know, I can't find a good freeze frame. Look at those squares.
Look at that rotoscoping. We know
Rotoscoping glory, and they got some lens flares going on there.
Well, and what you were saying, Dan, I liked the fact that they honored Star Wars. They got all the core elements of Star Wars that need to be in anything Star Wars done in a short amount of time. They execute the action well, and the rotoscoping everything, but then they also push it a little bit, kind of like what we did in our fan film. We wanted to create something a little bit different, a little bit interesting, exciting, and they did that in this in a similar way to our fan film, which I find fascinating, like you were saying,
Right.
Dan, too. And that just adds another layer and gets you thinking even more about Star Wars, and then it progresses the story in a natural way.
yes.
And then it leads to a climax, a climactic ending.
But what would a Star Wars film be without some saber clashing, right?
Yes.
I mean,
It looks very familiar.
it does look a little
I
familiar
remember rotoscoping scenes very
Yes.
much like that.
in a good way, right? You know, we like
for
to be in the
sure.
woods, and I mean, it's just the golden color is solid. But I like
It
what
is
they did with
absolutely
it, and I like how they played in the family dynamic throughout this. And I'm not going to play much more till the end here, but
Right, because there is a little bit of spoilers.
there's a little bit of spoilers. But yeah, you guys are going to absolutely want to see what's going on all the way at the end. But
yeah, we don't want to spoil anything
It's-
else, so we want to encourage everyone here,
Brightstar.
go and watch the Star Wars Brightstar and let them know that we sent you in the comments and like it and all the things, because in our opinion here, it's a premium example of Rise of the Fans, and that's our tagline for 2024. Dan's the one who came up with that. That was a fantastic tagline, Dan. Rise of the Fans, and this is a premium example of that. We cannot give it accolades enough. For me, it's a 10 out of 10 for a Star Wars fan film. Even a film in general, it's 10 out of 10. You got all the elements we were talking about, right, Dan?
Yeah. I was just pulling that up. but
Is that
keep
what you're
ta-
doing?
keep
Oh, sorry.
talking,
Yeah.
keep
So
talking.
it's got all the elephants. It's got all the
got all the
elephants we were
elephants.
looking. No, it has all the
escalated
elements we
quickly.
were looking for in Star Wars, and I just absolutely, we really enjoyed it, and it was absolutely amazing. And actually, crazy enough, in the chat right now we have Archangel Epics, the studio who created this fan film.
Really?
In the chat, they're saying thank you so much. Stay on target for loving the character development. Yes, we definitely recognize that, and that was a key element that we really loved in that fan film.
You don't have a solid Star Wars film without character development.
No, you do not.
And that's the proper terminology for it. But here it is. I was going to pull it up here. The ingredients to what we liked, what we started coming up with.
we
It's a
show
little
you
rough.
we show you an epic fan film that's absolutely amazing, and
then
we
you
bring
see
it
our
back to stay on
scribble.
target.
However,
classic.
Archangel, I did like the behind the scenes where they showed some previs for the fight sequences.
Yeah.
And they used, they had a storyboard and they had some shots and they had characters like toys that they set up
Oh,
and they
genius.
shot. And so,
Genius.
you know what I'm saying? So it has humble beginnings. I mean, you have to use what you got to set up the stuff to get before you get all the actors out there. And they had choreography, stunt leaders, they had stunt teams, they had all this stuff. So they were legit. Where we were unlegit, they were legit in their in their film, and it pays off. You can
shows,
tell.
yeah.
It absolutely
definitely.
shoes. But basically, back to our chicken scratch.
Yeah, our elements that we said what needs to be in Star Wars.
With the help of the chat, I mean,
Yeah, it was.
This had a gritty, lived-in action feel right out of the gate. What
did.
she's doing, they're fishing, and you see
well,
the fish.
even before that, that's right on the planet. As well.
The planet, right? Yeah, I mean, you're not like a polished concrete marble, right? I mean, you're literally in the world, and you feel the world by the sounds. When the soundscape comes up, you hear the sounds of the forest and such. And
Right.
then when she's
it's dark. It's a little bit of a dark intro.
yeah.
but
Well, the dark intro there, but
I'm talking about the dark intro.
Yeah,
and
the
then
dark intro.
you're switching over to the lived-in universe. Yes.
And then it has a little bit of comedy.
That's
No,
what I
there's-
liked.
no,
That was
there
the
is
other thing I was
comedy,
going to
yeah.
say. There was levity still
Yes.
in it between the husband and wife, and it felt like a very realistic
Actually, yeah.
husband and wife conversation.
It actually, yes, it was very refreshing.
Yes.
Hope is at the center of it. Okay, this is what we've said.
There is.
This is
Yeah.
what culminates. This is what makes Star Wars great. Is the hope, right?
Hope, yep.
And definitely, this had hope in it, despite how certain things played out. But it had hope at the end, and it left you wanting more.
This literally, okay, just, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Dan, but
Yeah.
this has literally, wait, keep that up.
Oh, bleh.
That's literally is everything. It has hope.
Yes.
It's got levity, comedy. It's got family. It nails it with the family. It's got a love story in it. It's just a little different, but there's still a love story there. It's got
There's love.
There's love there. There's love. There's a
can
lot of
tell.
love there.
Yes.
Love for Star Wars. Love for in between
true.
between the characters. And there's fantastical elements for sure.
Perfect, yep.
Especially with the one thing we were talking about. It's got a revenge/redemption arc, if you think about it. Not exactly in the same exact way, but it's there, and it's a gritty, lived-in action, film. So this literally hits on every thing that we've talked about, even with you in the chat as
That's
well.
so funny.
Yeah.
It's literally got everything that you want in a Star Wars film and fan film. That's why we give it 10 out of 10 for me.
And it even has some bonus points because of the CG and the choreography and
Yeah, they didn't just rely on those elements.
the casting.
They
You,
deliver.
you put that in the various categories of how you cast a family. Maybe how you do the gritty lived in, et cetera, et cetera. And
Yes.
but it hits all. It checks all the boxes
It
for
checks
sure
all the
on this one.
boxes.
So please go check it out.
Please go check it
and
out.
have fun and tell them we sent you. Actually, tell them right now because they may or may not be here
in
listening.
the chat, yeah.
But
Thanks for
I'm-
jumping in with us. That's awesome.
It had to be said because I watched it again today with a little more of a critical eye and enjoyed it even more the second time
Right.
through. First time we were getting ready and I was a little helter skelter, but this time I really got to sit down and watch it, and I really really enjoyed it.
And personally for us, making a fan film, we can relate. Maybe not exactly. Obviously, theirs is a lot more high quality and professional in so many different ways. But we can relate as to the struggles of making a fan film and bringing Star Wars to life in the way that we can without millions of dollars. You know what I mean? And they just did it to such a degree that it cannot be said enough. It is amazing. So go check it out. That is Brightstar, Star Wars Brightstar, Star Wars fan film made by Archangel Epics. Definitely go check it out. If you want to have some good Star Wars, for all the disappointment we hear about in Disney, Lucasfilm, Star Wars, this will not disappoint you. It will remind you, it will give you hope of Star Wars, because this is what the fans do. They rise above anything in Star Wars to make Star Wars even better than it could be.
I'm
So,
curious. Archangel might love the sequels and they might love all of that,
I don't know.
and they might love the direction. I'm guessing maybe not as much.
Yeah, we're not sure.
But it doesn't matter. I'm not putting any words in anybody's mouth.
Right.
But all I'm saying is what they have given
where
us
you going?
there. All I'm saying is what they've given us there is different than what Star Wars has given us.
Yes, definitely.
in the last 5 years, other than a few, bright moments.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
Brightstar
Shining light out
shining
there.
the light out there, and we aspire to be able to do what Brightstar has done there.
Yeah, it
Actually,
is inspiring.
in our next thing, and so it kind of gives you a sampling of people that really care and are willing to sacrifice and put tons of time and their creative skills and efforts. And that's what we all want to do in the Star Wars world. It's the perfect sandbox.
It is. So yeah, definitely go check it out. So yeah, let us know in the comments too down below if you have checked it out.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of it? Do you guys like it too? You giving it? What are you rating it? 10 out of 10? Because that's what we're rating it. So definitely go check it out. We appreciate you checking that out here. All right. Well, I think we're going to jump into our last segment of the night. We're going to jump into Q&A. It's Q&A time, baby. Kind of a new segment here. And we've always kind of done this, but not to this degree of actually collecting the questions over time. And that's why we wanted to do it. I have to give credit to where credit's due, which is Bismo actually gave us the idea for this. I was on his channel last week. Again, go check that out and like, comment, subscribe on him. And do we say... subscribe to Archangel Epics? Definitely subscribe to Archangel Epics because they definitely deserve it.
And check out all the behind the scenes. I love BTS behind the scenes, and they have some really good stuff on there.
Absolutely.
And they have some other stuff on the channel. They did another film, looks like a few years ago, and it's really good. So
yeah,
you guys are gonna like it.
So let's jump right into the Q&A section.
All right. And
what's the first question?
Particular order, or do you have a preference for?
It's totally up to your, because I do not see any of these questions. All right, we're just going
to go from the top. We're going from the top.
All right.
Okay, so Hannah asked, when did y'all decide to do a podcast live stream that would primarily be about Star Wars?
Ooh, yeah. So, Dan, you want me to take this one or you want to take this one?
When did we decide to do Star Wars? Start away, and I'll come back and follow up what you missed.
Okay.
Just kidding.
So, back in, I think, we had talked about it for a while because, I mean, not really a show. We always wanted to do the fan film. I got into a long time ago. I mean, I don't even know how many years ago now. Probably like 15 years ago now or something like that.
Fan film?
How long has it been since we made the fan film?
I mean, there was one
10 years. No, it's been like 10 years ago.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So probably like 10, 11, 12 years ago, I started watching the lightsaber choreography competition, which is a competition they do online on YouTube. And you can go check out all those fan films over there. Again, another great spot to see rising fans. That got me, because that was like, again, during kind of that was the lull. It was before Disney bought Lucasfilm. And I was like deep into Star Wars lore at that point. You know, it was, I could not consume enough Star Wars. So I turned to the fans in a lot of ways and saw the lightsaber competitions. I'm like, man, some of these fights, some of this stuff's better than what we get in some ways. I was like, this is awesome. It's epic. And so I was raving about it for a long time. And then finally I convinced Dan to help me make a fan film. By help me, I mean he made the fan film.
No,
I had the idea.
You wrote it. Yeah.
But we worked together, all of us, and then the fact checker did as well, and other friends and family helped us out make the first one. But then from there, you know, we made some fan films, and we didn't do as much with Star Wars after that for a while, just because life happens. You families, you get a lot of things going on. But then back in, I'd say like 2018. Maybe before that, once the Disney Star Wars started coming out with more stuff and the films started popping off, we just would talk for hours. All of us would talk hours about StarArs. And then I think back in like...
Dustin, in fact,
oh my goodness.
We are the cover art of the 2015 highlight reel.
We are the cover art. That's us right there.
Those nerds with that little yellow saber.
Yeah, we got it in the news, and they're actually like, my quote was, we were just trying not to look like two nerds with sticks fighting in the woods.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it still kind of was, but...
Yeah, 8 years ago, actually, almost
8
9.
years ago,
yeah, 2015, they liked it. It was our first go-around, but that's when we started. Is that what you're saying, Dustin?
Yeah, that's kind of what like kicked us off doing anything in YouTube when it comes to Star Wars. But then when we actually wanted to start a YouTube... originally, it was going to be a podcast, so... This is a long-winded answer. I'm sorry. I'll get to the. We'll cut to the chase. I originally wanted to do a podcast because I was talking with Dan. I was like, "Look, we talk for hours. I'm sure somebody out there would enjoy talking Star Wars with us as much as we like talking Star Wars. So let's just do a podcast." So we were like, "All right, let's do it." Dan was like, "All right." I convinced him again to do it. And then I show up and I was like, "Sweet, let's record this podcast," because Dan has a lot of audio. Only was what I was thinking. I show up and we were ready to do a podcast, and Dan's like, "We're gonna do it on video. We're gonna record video and audio." I was like, Okay.
Okay.
So then from there, the rest is history. It was back in 2019 when we did our first episode. But the thing that really kicked it off for us was The Mandalorian, and that's the first. We reviewed the very first episode of The Mandalorian, and that was our first ever Stay on Target show. And you can go back and watch. I pulled Nick in off the street, and we just talked about Mandalorian Star Wars for as long as we wanted to. No real structure. It was just kind of a fun chat. And we just kept it up from then. So that's how we got into it. Did I miss anything, Dan?
I think you nailed it.
Okay. It was really long-winded. I'm sorry about that.
Mandalorian, though, started all of this talking
really did.
on camera and getting the feels for how we do it. So, yeah, Stay on Target lore. That's where it began, and actually began in the fan films. So you can't miss it. If you go to the channel, you'll see the fan films in order and short that we did here. And anyway, then it jumps right to Mandalorian episode 1. So much fun.
So much.
4 years later, here we are. I mean, nobody knew the pandemic was coming. It worked out well for us because we were able to talk and people started watching. And
took
next
a while.
question.
Yeah, what's the next question?
All right. Next one is.
Thank you for that question, though.
Thanks,
Sorry,
Anna.
I'm cutting you off, but thank you for that question. We appreciate it.
There's a lot of good ones, so yeah, we got to.
Yeah, let's. I'll be quicker. I'm sorry.
No, it's good lore. The chat was enjoying it. Jane Doe asked, "Do you guys ever shave off the beards? Were you born with beards?"
I'll let you take this one since I went so long ago.
Yeah, I haven't. I've had this facial hair since college, some degree of it. Yeah, so pretty much since I was born.
Right.
No, I mean, so yeah. Do we ever shave it off? I don't change much. I'm pretty consistent. Like I eat the same thing for breakfast every day and lunch and dinner for the most part.
These are the answers you didn't know you needed to.
And so like I've looked pretty much like this. However, 2015, the year before, I had really, really long hair. So
Yeah, you did.
right before the fan film, I cut it, and that was the first time I'd cut it since college. I grew my hair out long in college. We rocked and rolled for a couple of years, so I had long shredding hair, just like Hunter.
Yeah.
And we shredded it like that. So then when I cut my hair, that was a big deal. But the facial hair has been the same pretty much ever since. Ebbs and flows. Now, Dustin's a little more of a beard man, so I don't know why I get this question.
Well, I just.
But you haven't shaved
Taking
yours.
No, I have not shaved my beard. So kind of the same actually. I feel like I was born with a beard almost. Like I've always been a Wookiee. Like ever since I was little.
That's true.
I was like a Wookiee since I was little.
That's true.
And then like so I think I started getting like facial hair in like high school, and it wasn't much, but it was there. And then I just basically from there I kept it short for a long time, kind of like more like Dan's. But then I think it was, when was it? It was like right after I got married. It was right after I got married because I kept it short for the wedding.
Yeah.
Right after I got married, I was like, you know what? And we were talking about the fan film and stuff like that too. I was like, you know what? I should grow it out for the fan film. And I'd seen some beards online. I was like, that's a really cool look. I wonder if I could actually pull that off. And so then I just went for it and tried growing out a beard, and what do you know? It actually turned out decent. You know, it's not the best beard ever, but it looks good. And I've only shaved it down once because I went to a barber and it was actually really disappointing because I was doing a musical gig that weekend, and I went to a new barber and I told him just like trim it up. I didn't say I was like, I want a little bit shorter. It was long at that time. So I was like, just trim it up. And they just did the guard and they just went straight up with it right there. And that's not what you do when it comes to trimming a beard. I'm not trying to sound snooty or anything like that, but it hurt me a little bit. No, but the thing is, it always grows back. So I just did the rest basically at home. Just did it up short, which is weird. It's weird seeing yourself after such a long time having a longer beard. The nice thing about beards, they give you a really good chin line too. So, and my philosophy with beards, a lot of the times, if you're gonna have a beard, maintain it. You know, it looks a lot better. Try not to look like a homeless person. So, that's my beardness. So I've had a beard for probably 10.
At least
9-8 years. I mean, I have a beard longer than that because I've had it since high school.
A bushier beard.
But a full beard like this has been probably about 9 years. My kids have. I'll just say this: my kids have never seen me without a beard. I joked with my wife, but I was like, I need to probably shave my face completely at one point, just
Oh,
so they know
man.
what I look like. But I don't know.
They
if
would
I'm-
cry.
I
You know,
can't like
they-
pull myself to do it though.
But when Nick has
I
surprised
look
us
like a child.
over the
Nick-
years,
yeah,
just showing up without even a lot of his hair.
No, he'll shave
and
everything.
no beard. Yeah, and that's a
He just
shock.
shaves
You
everything.
never know.
That guy's crazy. Matt's similar. Matt's had a beard for a while now too. Kind of different iterations. You got to find what works for you too. So
definitely.
anyway, hopefully we answered that question.
Yeah, I think the chat appreciated that too. A lot of them have long hair, and
Amen, Dusty Buns. KG. Thanks, KG. I'm not sure what you're amening, but
all right. Ellie asked, Sabizra, yay or nay, and can you see a future relationship?
Sabine and Ezra, yes.
yes,
Yes, I can definitely see a future relationship for the two of them. I think they belong together.
they do.
I don't think they're siblings. I think they were romantic. They were moving that direction in Rebels. As a Rebels fan, I am in favor of that. I'm not saying the whole Star Wars universe hinges on them being together, but I am saying that I want them to be together because it just makes sense the way the story progressed. And now it kind of complicated things because now who's the better Jedi, et cetera, et cetera. Whatever happens there, I like that I feel like she can lean more on her Mandalorian roots because he doesn't have a family. She has all the Mandalorian family. But maybe now the one thing they have in common is the Force ability. And that's kind of cool. Imagine their child.
Yeah,
Kind of a cool thing. Mom and a dad, and have a pretty legit child, a Mandalorian Jedi. And what a person.
yeah. I mean, it's what it fascinates Star Wars fans to have a Mandalorian Jedi. I mean, part of our fan films was a Mandalorian Jedi,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
we did way before it was cool. Okay, just saying.
Fan film.
Fan films, rise of the fans, baby.
From 10 years ago.
10 years ago. But yeah, I think there's still hope for it. It would be remiss, I feel like, if they didn't go down that path and really deliver on that for the fact that they've set it up so much in Rebels. And man, that was just painful in Ahsoka. Another reason for me not to enjoy Ahsoka was because they did not deliver on Ezra and Sabine. Man, there's just so much goodness there that could come from that. And it's a huge swing and not even a swing. It's a huge miss if they do not follow that till its end. It would make a lot of fans happy, and it would be a very interesting arc, and it would be a happy ending. It would be a hopeful happy ending in my opinion for those characters, for everything, and we need to see that. So yes, Ezra Bean or Sabizra. Or Ezra Bean is going to happen.
Hopefully something happens, right?
It better.
All right. Next question.
The fans will make it happen. That's the
fans
thing.
will.
Rise of the
Yes,
fans.
they
Yeah.
are.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I keep cutting you off.
It's fine.
Do you have something to say? No.
Sonia asked, what is your favorite scene from The Force Awakens?
Ooh.
It's been a while,
Scene?
probably.
I think I know Dan's.
Favorite scene from The Force Awakens?
Yeah.
You think you know mine?
Just
Do I,
gonna,
do I know mine?
I'm just going to guess.
Just go for
I'm
it.
going to guess the X-Wings over the water for Dan.
Well, that's a great shot because I wanted to poster that on the
Yeah.
walls in here.
That is
It's
an
a good.
epic.
It's a great cinematic shot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's phenomenal actually.
Yeah.
What
So
about you, Dustin?
For me, for The Force Awakens,
Is that the one with the
it's the first one of the sequel
Okay.
trilogy, The Force Awakens. That's kind of tough. That's tough for me because I've so many mixed feelings about The Force Awakens. But
Just
like
favorite scene.
favorite scene, I will say I did enjoy some of the humor in that movie, and I even thought, even as weird and creepy as it was, I did think that Maz Kanata liking Chewie was kind of funny to me. It was weird, but it was kind of funny. And I think I answered this before. I did like when Han Solo grabbed Chewie's bowcaster and was going to town on that. That was a lot of
that was
fun
pretty cool.
as well.
Actually, I think my all-time favorite shot in that movie was sequence. I actually liked the snow.
Oh, the snow fight.
Whoops, the snow fight. Yeah, yeah,
Here we
I did.
go.
I
Dan's
did like
always
it.
doing stuff in the background.
Yeah, no, I liked the snow fight because when we were making our fan film, I was studying how they did the lightsabers, and I still want to do a fan film and have some snow out there because you don't see a lot of those. It's really hard to do because it's cold.
It is. It's difficult.
But yeah, I want to see that stuff and I liked the fight that they did. And it was kind of dark with the blood on the snow, but I liked that sequence.
Yeah,
Good.
Ellie Blair, 60 portions.
60 portions.
The funniest thing about that character is that's oh shoot, I just lost his name. Of course, I'm gonna bring it up and then forget his name.
Simon
Pegg.
Oh,
Simon
yeah.
Pegg played that character, which is hilarious to me, and also dumb because he's a hilarious actor. Like you should have put him in and done given him something funny.
Right.
I mean, he still delivered a little bit of humor, but he was like, "What? Okay, sorry."
Right.
Missed opportunity there again. He wasn't even recognizable. That was a weird thing too. All right, they could have got anybody for that. Okay, blah blah blah. Well,
Next question.
Yeah,
Next
more
question.
questions. Icy asked, which 2024 Star Wars show do you think we might get news on first? Like more official news.
Official
The
news?
2024 show.
Yeah. Or
Uh,
yeah.
I think the next official one is going to be Bad Batch.
Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking. I think Bad Batch is more in the can with I think they're done or just doing final. Those the
Closer,
animated
I mean.
stuff goes so much more smooth. It feels like than anything else.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think it's going to be the Bad Batch.
Yep. And it seems like the pulse of Star Wars fans right now are leaning into the Bad Batch, just based on what people seem to want right now. Because the rest is unknown. And Tales of the Jedi they like, but Bad Batch has a track record because it's Clone Wars. So
Yeah.
Bad Batch.
Also, sorry, going back to the Force Awakens, I did actually like the friendship between Poe and Finn. I thought it was
Yes.
kind
Yeah,
of
that
fun
was
and funny.
nice.
They had some
Yeah.
good moments.
Yeah, definitely. What KG said, Poe's opening line to Kylo was funny. I liked the interrogation scene.
Yeah, you talks first.
Yeah, I like that too. That
As
was
a librarian was saying,
that was
yeah.
decent comedy. Actually, the whole intro sequence I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Initially, I
elements.
liked when he stopped the blaster bolt. Because
was
Kylo Ren
interesting.
at the beginning was scary, and you saw
Yeah.
Poe
And the music.
who was freaking out. Like, I don't want to kill these people. I mean, it's heavy. So
Right. Sorry,
Yeah.
I jumped back. Sorry.
It's just on your mind. Blazerhawk Darren asked, has anyone seen the original trilogy before the special edition, and which one did you like better?
yeah, we saw. Did we see them? We saw them before the special edition.
Oh, definitely. We
we saw them
grew
on
up
VHS.
on the VHS
Pre
tapes.
special editions.
Pre-special
Special editions kind of made me annoyed. Even in the 90s when they came out, I was like, stop adding all that. That's not the real movie.
Yeah, it kind of. I honestly there are some. There's both for me. So I say the original is best. I think that's absolutely the best one because adding some stuff in, it's just not necessary. And it actually, the special editions, they did add some cool stuff. Don't get me wrong. There are some cool things that he actually added. But if you look at the additions or positive additions versus negative additions, he kind of just threw a bunch of CGI stuff in there and it was distracting. It actually took away, in my personal opinion, I know it's up to him. It's his creative eye. But it actually kind of took away and made it sillier than it needed to be for certain scenes. And it was just too obvious for an addition. Like even, they added Jabba the Hutt, a scene with Han talking with Jabba the Hutt, which that was originally just a big burly dude. And there's a spot where he steps over his tail, but it's clearly roto, him going up and above. It's just okay, yeah, we see what you're trying to do there, and okay, we'll give you some props for that, but it just didn't fit as well.
But
the
question was, what was our favorite of those?
I said the original. The without the special editions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
Or do you
one
mean
did you like better? Yeah. No, I think that's
Does that
answers it.
answer the
Yeah.
question?
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's like once you see the original and then you see somebody tinkering, it's just tricky. It's like you really like a song. Now that's tricky with a song. Sometimes people remix it and they're like, "Ooh, I like the remix even more."
Yeah,
But in visual effects and you're trying to add to the story, and if the story works and then you try to add to it, it's complicated. It's a complicated thing when people do director's cuts. Like I'm mixed emotions on some director's cuts.
Yeah.
Like the extended editions, like Lord of the Rings, maybe an exception.
Because you like that.
Yeah, those.
I actually haven't seen the
What?
extended versions.
You've never seen the extended
Wow,
versions?
even I
never
have.
seen the yeah, right.
No, you
I
have.
have.
Wait, you have?
One of them.
Oh,
Dude,
no,
I
I've
did
never
a
seen the extended
marathon.
version of them.
We did a marathon, and actually, I think I think the Two Towers is actually one of the best additions because in the books they really go into the Ents, the tree people,
cool.
Oh, nice.
and they have like a longer backstory, and they actually go into that a little bit more in the extended edition, and I really enjoyed that. So
Love it.
but yeah, so but going back to this, sometimes it can be good. Sometimes it can be distracting. I just felt like in this situation there was more distraction. Although I think who says it here? They're saying when they added in Hayden.
Oh, KG.
KG said when they added in Hayden, they actually liked that, right?
At the end, yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I actually I'm of two minds because it feels like the original actor gets a little screwed in some ways, but it does make for a more cohesive story with the prequels being out, and linking that together. It's a little jarring. Din-jarring.
Din-jarring.
So
The Lord of the
there
Rings.
are positives and there are negatives, but the original's always going to be best.
Yeah.
Han shot first.
Okay, nice.
He's a scoundrel.
He is. All right, so a few questions from Bismo.
Here we go.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, so
Uh-oh.
what do you want to see next if you could pick anything Star Wars? Quote or parentheses, please no Andor. And then he said, why is Andor?
He had, and then he said, why is it Andor?
No, just why is Andor?
Why is Andor? Oh my goodness.
what would
He
you
had to
pick?
throw it in there.
Yeah.
What do you
pick
want to see next,
next?
if you could pick anything in Star Wars?
Yep.
Like that's already been announced, or is it just like
Dealer's choice.
Dealer's
That's
choice.
the question.
I think everybody knows mine. So Dan, go ahead.
What's yours? No, I'm kidding. The answer is something in the movie theater. Something in the movie theater that is Oscar worthy, Academy Award winning. I can
High
choose what I
quality.
want, right? I can choose what I
Yeah,
want.
anything.
I want Academy Award level. Okay, the closest they got was Andor. Sorry, and some of the acting and the delivery. So I want that in a movie.
Ooh, yeah.
And it can be about anything, actually. It doesn't have to have even any characters that we've seen before, but you can live in that same world.
Right.
But you could do it. It can be Academy Award winning, like with the heart and the emotion and intenseness. And but I want to see it in the movie theater.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, so I want to see it in theaters as well. I think we really need to get back to theaters with Star Wars, but I'm going Heir of the Empire. Done exactly, basically what I've been preaching for years. I'm going back to exactly how it's written in the books. I already gave the casting earlier. Heir of the Empire, one Hondo, done like the books, in the theater. Star Wars would be back. If they did that, it would be back, okay? And everybody would love it.
Nice. Wow.
You would love it.
Love it.
I'm telling you. Listen to me.
Or you would buy enough tickets. So
I would I would
see it.
solely make that movie. That
He would
everything
solely
happen.
make it happen.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. That's it.
Yeah, good answers.
And in chat also too, chat or comments later, let us know. You guys can be answering some of these too if they're not specifically
Of course,
about us.
yeah.
I mean, you can do that too, I guess. Just make stuff up. But let us know what you guys think as well. We want to hear from you. These are all great questions.
They are, yes.
Let's keep going. How many more do we got?
Just a few more.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, because I know we're pushing time.
We are pushing time.
Mrs. Manrique said, lightning round, would you eat a porg on a spit with a drip pan underneath?
You eat a porg on a spit with a drip pan underneath.
What is that?
A porg on a spit,
Like basically what
the Chewbacca
was
the
gonna do.
Chewbacca moment. Would you eat it?
Yeah,
Depends on how hungry I was.
would.
Dustin, he's a meat boy.
Just Last Jedi, if it like helped me like get over the Last Jedi some more, and I'm just like, I am eating how bad this movie is. And I would stare those porgs in the eye as I'm eating that porg.
Wow.
You're next.
See, I would have a hard time eating it in front of the other porg sitting right there. I would have a little heart, and I'd be like, I would wait till later, but I probably would because I would be hungry too on that planet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would
Also,
say
I'd be curious as to what it would taste like. It'd be good. And if it's dead already, It's already on the thing. I mean,
They looked like they cooked it really good in
It
that
did. It
scene.
looks- it
I'm
looked
like,
pretty
that shit
yummy.
looks pretty tasty.
Would you do like the Mandalorians, cook the food around the fire, take it, and walk away, eat by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then get picked up by a bird and
dragon.
dragged away. And yeah, probably.
Oh man.
Not the porg, says KG. Bismo, I would love to taste porg. Crate dragon, too.
Oh yes.
Oh wow.
Crate dragon's probably a little gamey.
Yeah. Tough. I think it'd be tough.
Tough, yeah.
Well, that is gamey.
Not necessarily. Well, yeah. Okay. Potato.
Potato, potato, potato.
Miss Manrique, heck yes. the
Hex, yes, the
porg.
Hex,
porg.
yes, the pork.
Yeah, good question.
Oh man, great question.
Okay, and then a few kind of assant questions.
Yeah.
From Ellie, does Nick truly love and appreciate the chat? Well, he's not here, so do you want to speak for him, or should we?
You know, since he's not here, I'm gonna say he absolutely does. He might say that he doesn't, and that he doesn't like you, and no, not he doesn't like you. He tolerates you. I'm sorry. He says he tolerates you, but deep down in Nick's core, he likes every single one of you.
Yeah.
And he's definitely going to hate that I'm saying this. And probably going to give me grief about it later. But he's not here to defend himself. So take that, croissant, Nick. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I agree. I think he really, really, really loves the chat. And he actually comes here just to get what your guys' opinions are. You know? He doesn't have any of his own, so he has to come to yours.
Whoa! Shots
Opinions.
fired there. That was even tougher than mine, I feel like.
I'm kidding. He has a lot of opinions.
He does.
But, you know, he likes
He
his, he
does.
likes Hunter. He likes his Sith Apprentice.
He does.
He likes saying what he says, whether or not it riles you up, but it's fun either way. And I think he does appreciate the chat.
He's always reading it. He
He
follows
is.
along.
He does.
Yes,
He
and
does.
he told us last week, he's like, I can't read the font. It's too small. So if that
Yeah.
doesn't tell you, he wants you to be bigger in his life.
Aw,
See, Nick-
that is so sweet.
Nick puts on a tough. He puts on a tough exterior, but he's a softie underneath. Come on, he's a Sith that needs love too. The Sith need love.
Yeah, Bismo says, I'm convinced he doesn't like me. I'm like, well, I still say the same thing, Bismo. No, just kidding. No,
Wait, that you don't like Bismo?
no
Or
that he doesn't like,
Nick.
Nick doesn't like me either.
I was like, what? Don't say that.
No,
Yeah,
I like
Nick.
Bismo.
Yeah, Nick doesn't like us either.
He doesn't even like me. No, I'm just kidding.
He doesn't even want to be on the show. No, I'm joking.
No, we've known Nick a long time.
We have,
and
yeah.
he the story is that he
That's
got
a
dragged
question.
in here
Yes,
on The
that-
Mandalorian.
Bismo was asking, what is the longer story of the Nick getting Nick off the street? So yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is it the next
Is that
question?
the next
Yes,
question?
and
All
yeah.
right.
Mhm.
So,
Well, we're very spontaneous sometimes, right, Dustin?
yes.
And so we're like, we talked about, we should sit down and talk about this thing, this Mandalorian show about to come out. We should do something. We should do something. We should do something. The Mandalorian's coming out tonight.
We're doing
Let's
it.
do it. Like, you do anything tonight? No. Okay, come on over.
Yeah, seriously. I was like the same day. I was like, "Hey, Nick, you want to do a podcast with us?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, sure. I got nothing else going on."
Yeah. At the time, Nick had nothing going on. We didn't have as many kids around us, and it just the time worked out. So literally, that's as simple as it was.
If you want some longer history though, with Nick and I,
Yeah,
Nick and I-
That is another question.
is it okay?
How did you meet the fact checker Nick and Matt? I think we've talked on it a little
Have we
bit,
talked
so
on
we
it a
don't have to
little
go into all of that. But
Okay. Well, with speaking about Nick and me, Nick and I have been friends for a very long time. Actually, kind of grew up together in some ways. But I'm older than him by some years, not like a ton, but a decent enough that I always. So I don't know. Nick did not always have a lot going on, and we were good friends. But I usually had some sort of task or something to do, or I was helping somebody with something, and so I'd be like, "Yo, Nick, you wanna come over and play video games?" And he'll tell it hilariously. If he comes back on next, he'll correct the story, I'm sure. But he'd be like, "I'll be like, dude, you want to come play some video games?" And then he'd be like, "Yeah, dude, let's hang out, and play some video games, or do whatever." And so I'd go and pick up but first we got to go help build a house. But I always fed him, and I always paid for his meals, and we always did what I said we were going to do, and we played video games, and we had a blast every time. But Nick was the kind of person that I loved hanging out with because it didn't matter what we were doing. It didn't matter how hard the tasks were that we were doing. We always had fun doing any of them. I mean, we literally were like building houses and taking like we took like OBS, like OBS. What am I saying? Not OBS. The particle board. OSB. Thank you. I was totally getting dyslexic there. OSB. We took like 100 sheets like up and down like flights of stairs, and we were laughing the whole time. Like just to paint a little picture for you. Anyway,
Because don't you guys have your own kind of special language?
we do. We also developed a language we call it quotish, is where we literally just spoke to each other. Like we would have full conversations in just movie and show quotes. We would only respond with another quote from something we had seen or talked about together, and we just had a blast. It was a lot of fun. So that's also why I just pulled Nick in off the street to be in this show.
He's got a lot of thoughts on Star Wars.
And he's hilarious. Nick is absolutely
he is
hilarious. He should be a
hilarious.
comedian, and he definitely should. And I want that for him.
It's so funny.
He's so funny, dude.
Nick is so funny, and it's funny for me because like I've always been like the old man of the group in some ways.
No.
I mean, some ways.
Daddy Dan.
No, you were the one who came in and
I
just
would
said
do some
something
random-
off the
yeah,
wall.
I would do something
Not
like
the old man. You were like,
Well,
what is he gonna
like-
say next?
Because you guys were tight, is what I'm saying. But like I've known Dustin twice as long as Nick since he
Right.
was a fetus. Dustin and I are brothers. In case you didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm his older brother. So I've known Dustin his whole life. Dustin has known me his whole
I
life.
did, no, I do. My whole
No,
life. I've
no,
known you.
not on my whole life. There's a lot of stuff before you were born that you need to find out. I'm
yeah,
kidding.
I found out about some of it.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. But so it was funny. It took me a while after even we started the Mandalorian show, or this show, Stay on Target, realizing like, I don't know what they're talking about. Like they would just go into this quotish thing. And I'm like, I don't know any of the references that you're talking about here. Like, ha 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 ha. I would laugh along, but
Right. You're
it's
like, you guys are
taken.
dorks.
And I told Stephanie, like 3 years later, I'm like, now I'm just starting to like be involved in some of those pre-stories. So it's like I'm starting. I remember that one.
Yeah, it's
So
like
now-
you're like Captain America in the Avengers. He's
Is
like,
that what
I understood that reference.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So now, Daddy Danikin.
At least we always
Gets
tried
it.
to share that with you. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like even like we talk our own language and stuff like that. It might be
Yeah.
jarring, it might be a little jarring, but we always want to share
Yes.
those things with you, and we'll at least try to send you where we're getting these quotes from, so that you can also join in the fun and the hilarity that is those
Right.
moments or those quotes.
Well,
So-
and because even if I hadn't watched the show that you're quoting, eventually the quote became funny because I had heard it enough. Or you'd show me a
Yeah.
clip, and then I'd watch it and be like, that's actually really funny.
yeah, my
Carla says, what? Dan and Dustin are brothers?
The whole chat is lighting up.
they're
with that.
lighting up.
Oh, boy.
Yes, we're brothers. Yeah, we've been brothers our entire lives. Well, not Dan's entire life, my entire life, because there was a time before me.
Wow.
Was there, Dustin?
Yes.
Or did the world start with you?
Whoa.
No, it did not. I will never say that.
Dustin's world revolves around Dustin.
No, it does not. Wow, thanks.
I'm just saying it like scientifically, like
Well, I mean, it's only the only perspective you know because it's your own perspective.
exactly.
But I try to live a very empathetic life and see things in other people, put myself in other people's shoes is what I always try to
You
do.
try to not live your life and find someone else's too.
That's exactly
Think
I,
about.
I live vicariously through everyone else around me. You nailed it. Is this a quote? No, I'm just
Probably it is now.
This
It
is how
is
Dan
now.
gets back at you.
yeah. Dan's getting back. Dan just like just had flashbacks of us as like
Yeah.
not
Teenagers.
wanting me to be his brother.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just joking.
No, I was the only boy for a while, but I don't know. It was cool when I was cool when you're like, you're gonna have a brother. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah,
Do you
then
actually
got
remember
me.
that announcement?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Then he got me, and he's like, "Oh, you suck."
And then we shared a room forever.
Yeah, that was.
and
probably,
that's
we were
another
very different.
story.
And for another time.
Let's not go into all that. Oh my goodness!
Love it.
Wow.
They can
Are
watch
there-
the video
yeah,
on it.
so much
from a
song
few weeks
lore here.
ago.
We're giving too
I'm
much.
going to work
song
on my
lore.
animation, and we're going to tell these stories in animation. I'm going to hire Filoni to do it.
Yeah, do the.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Okay. All right. What
I
other
think
questions we got?
that wraps it up.
That pretty much wraps
Alright.
it up. Nice.
Yeah, great questions.
Yes. Great questions. That was a fun Q&A time. I was I wasn't sure how that was gonna go. I was a little nervous. No, I wasn't really. You guys always have amazing questions, and you guys are so fun to talk to in the chat. And we love talking Star Wars. We also like talking Stay on Target lore. So that's what you just got there for a little bit, and what a fun time that was. Yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up though for us tonight. We covered a lot of stuff, with more to come, I'm sure, because it seems like every time we're writing the show notes, something else drops and it turns completely upside down, because that's Disney Plus Star Wars or whatever.
We're in the unknown regions.
We are in the unknown regions of Star Wars right now. Hopefully we get some more. I'm really hoping we get some more official news.
Yeah, I think
dropping
they're gonna,
soon. We need it.
I think maybe the Super Bowl a couple weeks away, they'll drop
makes
something.
sense.
You know, maybe they need to keep something coming out, because this is a pretty dry season.
It is. It's very dry.
For Star Wars. So, but that's why we got Brightstar. That's why we got Drowning. That's why we got Stay on Target every week, and all of the rewatches that we can find. Bismo every week. The lore. He's doing some what ifs.
Oh yeah.
Stay on Target's cooking some music behind the scenes, and eventually we'll drop some more of that for you people.
Oh yeah. It's been a little bit crazy.
Music videos. It's been a 2024 so far, but yeah. I one of these days I'm just going to ask them which one they want to see first, but
wait, what?
Editing a music video.
No,
like cut.
Yeah. I see.
Like I'll put a poll. We'll put a community poll out and see which one they want to watch. But
I just grabbed for my hat and it wasn't there. I had it backwards. I don't know, I just thought I should call it out because I'm sure somebody saw that and was like, "That dude's an idiot." And Dan is totally justified to not want to be his brother. No, I'm just joking. All right.
No,
sorry.
just like Brightstar, Dustin. What comes first?
Rise of the Fans.
What? No, did you watch?
I don't know what
the fan film. It was the family.
Sorry. I was like, "Where are you going?" I had no idea where you were going.
And then the helpless. I don't know. Anyway, watch the fan film.
I'm so sorry.
There's lessons in there, Dustin.
There's a lot of lessons.
Just kidding.
Definitely. Speaking of Brightstar, Rise of the
I'm
Fans.
just kidding.
Definitely a lot of lessons there. Family. Oh, family is huge.
Because you said Dan didn't want to be my brother, and I was like, Dustin, don't you remember the fan film?
Oh, that's true. It does happen a little bit in there too. Yeah, so
it's all
go
good.
watch it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we could talk forever and a day, and we already have here tonight. Thank you for joining us for this fun adventure together with all of us here at Stay on Target. We will be back next week, same time, same place, same great content. It feels weird when you say that, like we're tooting our own horn, but we try to give you guys the best content we can. But yeah, if you got any more questions, drop them in the comments below, and come back next week and you can ask even more. And it's going to be a lot of fun stuff, I'm sure. So anything else you guys got? Danikin, fact checker, you guys got any more words of wisdom or things you want to say before we get up on out of here?
Nope. Everybody stay warm out there.
Stay warm. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it's been a good time. Flies when you're having fun, Bismo. Yeah.
Definitely. Oh yeah, and definitely if I don't know if he said yet or not, I'm pretty sure he's got a live show tomorrow.
Yeah, good. Yep.
Definitely go over there. I believe it is 8 p.m. Shoot, correct me.
Or 7
8
p.m.
p.m.
Eastern.
Yeah.
7 Central.
Yeah.
I don't why I have a hard time with that, but I always do. But definitely go over there and check out his channel. It's going to be a good
7
time.
p.m. CST. He's going to be there. A new guest as well. It's going to be a good show. So you guys are going to watch that tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely.
Get us through these cold, dry Star Wars months.
Yeah.
And obviously keep your eyes out for the news, because
There's always something.
and we'll do the best we can to
Keep your eyes here because we'll be trying to cover it.
We'll be trying to cover it. That's for sure.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. We appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies about us, because with all of us together, we can make Star Wars better. Rise of the Fans, baby. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to always stay on target. Keep it simple. Keep it safe. And we're out. What a fun show it was tonight.